요 온하 온하 안녕하십니까. 좋은 점심 지나고 저녁 전입니다. 아이고. 오늘은요 어제 하려 했던 탱글 타워라는 걸 하려고 하거든요. 잘은 모르는데 추리 게임이래요. 온 세상에 오지랖을 부리는 나로서는 한마디 얹지 않고 그냥 지나칠 수 없어서 탱글 타워를 골랐습니다. 왜 탱글일까? 탱글은 영어 우리가 쓰는 탱글이랑 영어 탱글은 다르지 않나? 탱글 뜻이 뭐지? 우리가 생각하는 탱탱볼이 그 탱글이 아닐 거잖아요? 검색해볼까? 파파고 영어에서 한국어 TANGLE 엉키다라는 뜻이래요. 타워가 엉켰나? 뭐지? 아무튼 부금부터 너무 미스테리하거든요. 부금 잘 들리세요? 잘 들리시나요? 안 들리시나요? 소리 좀 작나? 들려요? 키울까요? 괜찮아요? 줄일까요? 스스로 결정하는 게 없어. 스스로 결정하는 게 없어. 다 가이드에게 의지죠. 약간 맨헤라적 같지 않나요? 의존증. 오늘 추리하다 막히면 계속 물어볼 거니까. 그림은 귀엽거든요. 그림은 이쁜데 부금이랑 분위기가 수상해. 그림 너무 이쁘지 않아요? 근데 수상해. 오, 뭐지? 이게 뭐지? 탱글 타워 오후 중반 뭐가 들어온다. 뭐야 이거? 호수 가장자리. 뭐지 이 만두머리도 아닌 뭐지?
You ready, Sally?
어우! 이분의 이름은 셀린가봐요.
Rumor, I've been standing here for 7.5 minutes.
What? 그리모어? 그리모어인가봐요 주인공은. 지금 7분 30초째 서 있기만 해서. 이거 뭐지? MBTI J? 계획형? P가 계획형인가? 아무튼 좀 벌써부터 쉬운 상황이 아닌 것 같아요.
Just checking.
Just checking.
You have the map?
영어가 너무 원어인 게 맞겠지?
Yeah, but it's basically blank.
Basically black. 검은 지도래요. 아무것도 없다는 거네.
Did you read the case file? What do you think?
케이스 파일 what? 이거 영어 듣기 평가가 되는 것 같으면서도 안 되네.
I'm not sure yet. It's really not a lot to go on.
I'm not sure yet. 까지밖에 못 들었다.
Did you read it?
안
I'll read
읽었는데.
it on the way to the crime scene.
여기 보여요? 여기 뒤에 요게 사건 현장 뭐야? 아까 뭔 버튼이라고? 사건 케이스 버튼이래요. 살인 피해자. 뭐라 이거? 펠로우. 아이 여기도 펠로우잖아. 프레야 펠로우 19살인데 죽었나봐. 플로라 펠로우의 초상화를 그리는 도중 사망. 장소는 플로라의 탑. 플로라는 현장에서 초상화 모델로 포즈를 취하고 있었다. 어? 초상화를 그리는데 이쪽이 죽었으면 누가 죽였는지 아는 거 아님? 프레야 펠로우는 등을 바닥에 대고 쓰러진 채 발견됐으며 가슴에 단 하나의 자상을 입은 상태였다. 원샷 원킬? 현장에서는 어떠한 무기도 발견되지 않았지만 프레야가 끝내지 못한 그림 속 주인공은 칼을 들고 있다. 에? 칼 끝에 빨간색은 물감이 아니다. 피인 것으로 확인됐다. 에? 너무 기괴해. 이곳은 현재 팅글타워라 불리지만 하단부의 저택에 연결된 2개의 탑이 있을 뿐이다. 펠로우 가문과 포인터 가문 두 가문이 거주하고 있대요. 뭐지? 요 그림인가봐. 요 끝에 칼을 들고 있고 뭐지? 아! 오! 프레야 펠로우라는 인물이래요. 한 방에 가버린.
I tied the boat up to the mooring post, so it'll stay put for now.
Loving the confidence.
나중에 배가 없는 거 아니야? 이거는 지도입니다. 맵이 생각보다 넓은데? 이렇게
It's a bird
누르면
bath. Is that just rain?
The birds seem to like it.
조사할 수 있나 봐.
They're even singing a little tune.
빠빠빠빠빠빠빠빠빠빠빠.
뚜뚜뚜뚜뚜뚜뚜뚜.
어? 절대음감인가?
Please don't do that.
아, 죄송합니다.
The ground's moist, but it's not muddy.
풀더빙인가 봐. 대박이야.
Wonder how often it rains here.
I cannot believe how exciting this murder investigation is already.
둘이 대화가 되고 있긴 한 거야.
That's the little boat we used to cross the only way on or off the island.
What a comforting thought.
이거는 뭐지? 노를 놓는
That's a
곳인가?
big lake.
It's kind of purple. Looks poisonous.
I think it's just water.
Yeah, water with poison in it.
It's a garden,
가이든.
I think. It's currently far away.
카롤린.
We could walk closer to it.
Ready when you are.
요번 게임 플레이를 통해서 제 바닥의 영어 실력을 가감없이 여러분에게 선보일 수 있을 것 같아서 저는 벌써 쪼그기 팔립니다.
It's just an archway, but it seems a little ominous. Like walking through it might give you bad luck.
보통은 이런데 좋은 거 달아놔서 운이 좋아지는 게
Too
아닌가?
late.
What are they?
이거 뭐야? 이거 칠석이야?
Wind chimes.
풍경이 그거잖아요. 바람이 불면 소리 나는 그거.
Silent. Wooden wind
근데
chimes.
소리가 안 난다고? 쌤이. 일단 한번 가볼까 옆에? 정원입니다. 아니 이 동네는 컬러감이 다 왜 보라색이지?
And it's full of the same weird water that was in the lake.
Any fish in there?
Not a single one. Although there is something in there.
뭐가 있지?
It's a cassette tape.
에?
Or it used to be.
망가진 카세트 테이프가 들어있다고? 라벨의 잉크는 번져서 알아볼 수 없다. 와 이거 그러면 아이템이 어디 있는지도 모르고 계속 그냥 여기저기 눌러서 건져야 되는 건가
It's
게임이?
quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say too quiet.
quiet.
It's not. It's an appropriate amount of quiet.
아까 거기도 뭐가 있을 수도
It's a
있네?
stone carving. Wonder how it got cracked.
I think it's supposed to look like that.
드래곤이
It's an A.
태어나나요? 목소리가 뭐 눈이
What
왔다 갔다 한다. 뭐
animal is
뭐야 이거?
that?
Hawk.
에?
Bear.
새가
lizard.
아니에요? 아, 이 새 맞구나. 매곰 도마뱀 왜 자꾸
Right,
작아지지?
of course. A hawk bear lizard.
매곰 도마뱀. 없어졌어. 있어.
What animal?
Hawk.
Right, a
똑같네.
hawk bear lizard. This is some
버섯
garden.
맛있겠다.
Do the plants all look a little strange to you?
하프하는
It's a
이구아나?
statue of some hideous, scaly, bipedal fish monster
Playing a harp.
playing a harp.
Playing harp.
Hang on a second.
자세히 봐봐. 뭐야 이게?
This isn't just a regular statue, is it?
Something tells me we're not gonna solve this just yet.
아직은 풀 수 없다.
Let's come back later. It must do something.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
예. 여기 뭐 뉴스페이퍼 같은 거
Spooky.
붙어 있는데
What do
뭐야
you think
이거?
it's for?
I think it's to scare away detectives.
아 우리
Is it
주인공 탐정이야?
No.
Spooky. What do you think it's for?
I think it's
Is
to
it working?
No. This is some
Do the
garden.
plants all look a little strange? It's a bandstand.
Bit small for a bandstand.
밴드 스테이지.
It's a one-man bandstand.
원맨. 뭐 흘렸나?
It's a bandstand.
It's
small.
It's a one-man bandstand.
여긴 뭐 더 없나?
It's full of the same
Any
weird
fish?
notice. Although there
It's
is
a cassette. Or it used to be.
응 이거 아까 본 거.
This is some.
Do the plants all
신소리
look
낯설지 않아 하고 이 바닥은 뭐야?
It's a path through the leads up to the house. I assume. It's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say, too quiet.
Too
It's
quiet.
not. It's an appropriate amount of quiet.
이건 또 새 발
Pond
같은데요?
has little stone feet.
Seems a bit superfluous.
You're superfluous.
동료 맞음?
What animal?
Hawk.
Right, hawk bear
매곰
lizard.
도마뱀.
It's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed
It's
to.
not. It's an appropriate amount.
똑같네. 뭐 볼 게 더 있나? 계속 이렇게 봐야 된다는 거죠?
This is some
Do the
garden.
plants all look a little
혹시 모르니까 아까 다시 가보자. 이거 필링이 여기도 뭐 하나 건져야 되거든요?
The ground's moist.
I cannot believe how excited.
Do you think anybody?
Maybe let's wave just in case.
아무도 없나 본데?
Mountains.
마운드.
Nope. They're too steep and too smooth to be mountains. They're more like cliffs.
Whatever they are, they go
너
all the way
티야?
around the lake.
왜 나한테
Like a
공감
barrel.
안 해주고 자꾸 팩트 어쩌고만 얘기해?
So, who do you think did it?
Sally, you know full well we haven't met a single suspect yet.
그래 우리 아직 아무도
We
만나지
haven't even
않았잖아.
been to the crime
그래
scene.
그래.
Still, I reckon I've got it all worked
Eh?
out.
그럴
It's a
리가.
garden, I think.
We
Ready when you are.
세 번째 가봅시다. 헉, 드디어 정문인데요.
little bird feeders.
How do you know they're for birds?
새 아님 못 들어가잖아. 여기 뭐야?
Yeah, there's a heart engraved in the tree.
누구랑 누구 사귀기 시작한 며칠 막 이런 거 써져 있어.
I didn't know people actually did that.
내 말이 그 말이야.
PPFF.
PPFF? PPFF 누구지?
Do you think he'll start to move if we try to go inside?
No, I think he'll just silently judge us.
Is that an envelope?
이거 뭐야? 이거 편지다.
It's been opened, but the letter's still in there. Let's read it.
남의 편지 읽는 거 좀 두근두근한데.
Isn't that an invasion of someone's privacy?
No, definitely.
당연하게 남의 사생활에 침해하는. 봉투가 뜯겨져 있다. 안에는 작은 종이가 들어있다. 조합은 다른 종이에 있습니다. 조합을 외운 뒤에는 이 종이를 없애십시오. 당신의 사고에는 동의할 수 없습니다. 그것은 밑에서 찾을 수 없을 겁니다. 뭐지? 아직은 도움이 되는 정보가 없어요. 이거
A
오리발
path
바닥
leading
같다.
towards the stone square. Should we ring the doorbell?
Why would we not?
짤랑짤랑짤랑. 어우.
It's a little melody.
아무도 안 나오는데?
Oh,
오가 떨어졌어.
What?
oh, there's an O on the floor.
Oh yeah, Tangle Tower.
투어.
Twir.
투어.
Oh,
어우.
What?
oh,
Oh
There's-
yeah, Tangle Tower.
투어.
Twir. Don't think it's locked.
아!
Ah, that means we can just walk straight in,
지문이
right?
열려있다고? 이것도 추가
I'm pretty sure that's the rule.
어쩌고
Yeah.
현장에 필링이 나는걸? 실례합니다. 허! 멀쩡한 물이
It's
있잖아.
a big glass tube filled with water.
There are weeds in there and sand.
It's an aquarium?
이게 작은데?
Could be, except there's nothing living in it
혹시 너네가 들어가는 건?
anymore.
근데 이게 집이 어? 지금 좌우가 굉장히 다르다고 생각을 했는데 F랑 P로 나눠져 있어요. 나는 MBTI가 IS 뭐더라? FJ였나? 그러면 F부터 봐야지.
A big letter F.
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner of their initial in the lobby of their mansion?
여기는 P인데?
This one has a big P.
That's probably important.
How very P-ceptive of you.
어? 집안이 F집안인가? 아! 그러네 펠로우 집안이네. F집안인데 여기? P가 있을 리가 없는데? 아닌가? 아 입구는 똑같네요. 입구는 똑같고 들어가서 펠로우 가문이랑 포인터 가문이니까 여긴 펠로우 가문, 여긴 포인터 가문이래요. 근데 여기서 느껴지지 않아요? F쪽은 약간 둥글둥글한데 P쪽은 다 뾰족뾰족해.
Finally, we get to investigate a murder in a spooky mansion.
It's not that spooky, really.
분위기는 하나도
Don't ruin this.
스포키하지 않은데? 이건 뭐지? 집안 가게도인가? 라고 하기에는 두 집안인데?
What is that?
I think it's a family tree.
네? 잠깐 여기 포인터 가문이 있고 여기 펠로우 가문이 있고 응? 레밍턴이란 가문이 중간에 있었는데요? 있었는데 없어졌습니다. 로드 레밍턴 이렇게 와서 이렇게 결혼을 했더니 요 아이가 나왔고 여기랑 레밍턴이랑 결혼해서 이렇게 나왔고 잠깐만 깜짝이야. 레밍턴 하나랑 펠로우 가문 하나랑 결혼을 해서 여기 나온 거네. 나 지금 잘못 읽고 얘네 둘이 결혼인데 얘랑도 연결이 돼 있네? 뭐야 얘네? 근데 얘랑 같은 집안인데 뭐야 얘네 이랬는데 그게 아니었죠. 이렇게 자식이 둘이고 얘랑 마침 결혼했는데 여기도 자식이 둘이고 얘랑 마침 결혼했다는 뜻이죠. 죄송합니다. 여기는 레밍턴 집안에서 자녀가 셋 나왔고 포인트 집안에서 자녀가 둘 나와서 각자 또 집안을 꾸렸고요. 펠로우 집안도 자녀를 둘 낳았네요. 어? 얘는 뭐야? 요렇게 둘이 결혼한 게 아니야? 결혼해서 성이 바뀐 게 아니야? 죽은 애가 프레야 아니야?
Freya fellow.
The murder victim.
She's barely related to the main family at all.
그러면 요 집안에서 해치웠네.
Lady fellow.
Do these people not have first names?
왜냐면
Selena Stonetop.
No family line.
집 밖의 친구니까.
Apparently, she just appeared out of nowhere.
Felicia fellow.
Freya's mother.
Do you think she still lives here?
Damien Dusk.
Whoa. Is it too late to change my name to Detective Dusk?
It's Freya's father. Do you think he still lives here?
언하 멤버 감사합니다 설백희님. 이런 식으로 집이 아무튼 그거네요. 무서운 걸
Sally, check those
혼외.
plants for clues.
Is soil a clue?
여기도
It's
문이
not
있네.
locked.
열려있다.
Finally, we get
It's
to
not
don't
bad.
ruin this.
여기도 열렸나?
A door.
Oh, what's behind it?
A room.
보면 요것도 동그란데
Stairs.
요거는 뾰족해.
Stairs.
Finally, we get
It's
to
not that
don't ruin this.
나머지는 뭐 별거 없는데요?
Finally, we
It's
get
not
don't
bad.
ruin this.
뭐가 있을까?
We should try and be finished. Pressure.
딱히
We should
정보는
try and be
없는데?
finished. We should try and be finished before pressure.
일단
Stairs.
사건이 난 곳부터 가볼까? 원래 사건 현장부터 보는 게 그거잖아요.
The whole room has a strange feeling about it.
Yeah, there might be a reason for that.
Let's take a look at that
드디어
painting
사람이야.
first.
그림부터 알았어.
There it is. The unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through painting it.
Looks that way.
프레야는 그림을 끝내지 못했다. 작업 중 사망했기 때문이다. 플로라는 칼을 들고 있는 것처럼 보인다. 그 끝에 있는 빨간 물질이 피인 것으로 확인됐다.
I wonder if all of Freya's paintings are this creepy. Maybe it's just because she never got to finish it.
There's something wrong with the crime scene. And something really weird about the murder weapon.
We didn't find a murder weapon.
맞아. 뭐야? 뭔가 키워드가 있어. 이상한 무얼 해야 되네. 엥? 이게 맞아? 이건 지금 그림을 보고 하는 건가? 아닌가? 너무 어려운데요? 나 지금 이거 봐서 뭐 해야 되는지 모르겠는데요? 플로가 칼을 아니 얘 탐정이라면 이런 멍청한 소리 할 거야? 이 인물이 칼을 들고 있고 그 끝에 묻은 건 피. 하지만 그것은 현장에서 사라졌다. 이게 맞아? 이 사람이 칼을 들고 있는 게 맞아? 이런 멍청한 추리를 하는 게 맞는 거라고? 일단 이렇게 해볼까?
Flora Fellow is holding a knife tipped with blood, but it was removed from the scene. Nope.
아 이거 아니래. 그림인가봐.
Flora's portrait is holding a knife tipped with blood, but it was removed from the scene. Almost. Maybe just change one.
이건가? 아니, 너 탐정이라며. 너 탐정이라며. 근데 그림을 보고 이런 추리를 하면
Is
어떡해?
holding a knife tipped with blood because it stabbed Freya.
셀리한테 혼나겠는데?
Weird, huh?
You think Freya was stabbed by a painting, not by the woman from the painting, but by
그림을
the
조심하세요.
painting itself.
Mm-hmm. Freya was standing right up by the canvas
그림이
when
갑자기
she was
여러분을
killed.
찌를지도
There's
모릅니다.
blood on the knife. It's the murder weapon.
Right, but it's not actually a knife. It can't stab.
See any other knives around here? Case closed.
에?
It's not closed. And even if you were right, where does that leave us? A painting can't be a murder suspect.
뭘 불만 가득한 표정을 하고 있는 거야? 뭐야? 배드엔딩이야? 아닌가? 그냥 챕터가 바뀐 건가? 깜짝이야.
There it is. The unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So, what? Freya was killed halfway through painting it.
Looks that way.
뭔가 다른가? 실제 그림이랑 현재랑 다른 걸 찾아봐야 되나?
Is that a gramophone?
I think so. Except it's got a tape deck instead of a turntable.
It's also got a big crack down the middle.
이 동네에는 제대로 된 게 없어. 카세트 테이프를 틀 수 있대. 아, 여기 카세트 테이프 넣는 건가 봐. 요즘
about
분들은
the cassette
카세트
tape?
테이프 아세요?
Yeah, it sure is. Pink.
투 프레야, 이거 핑크 테이프잖아. 명반이죠, 핑크 테이프.
Do you think it still works?
The gramophone? Yeah, we could give it a go.
과연 고장난 거 아닌가? 나온다.
It's piano music.
계속 피아노만 나오나? 뭐 안 나오나? 굿바이 썸머가 아니네. 우리가 생각하는 굿빈테가 아니었나봐요. 아, 지금 부서져 있어서 제대로 안 들리나? 계속 피아노야. 녹색 테이프 틀어보자. 고장나서 아무 소리도 안 나나? 발소리.
Weird.
It's someone humming a tune.
무서워. 하하하하. 딱히 뭐 없네. 가끔 이러다 보면 무서운 말 나온다고요. 이러다 보면 갑자기 아이치 이런 게 나온다고요. 아쉽게도 둘은 뭐 없네. 대감기에도.
Is that an egg? An egg with bird feet.
It's also covered in gemstones. What a completely ordinary object.
버즐이다 이거.
I think it's a container for something.
Those gems look like they come off.
이거 이런 퍼즐 맞나? 헤이! 이게 뭐야?
Nope.
Did you check? I'm pretty sure it explains where to put each of the...
아, 이게 짝꿍을 맞추는 게 아니구나. 좌우 반전된 것 같은... 아니네. 방향이 아예 달라. 직각이잖아요. 직각이니까 다이아랑 잠깐만 짧은 쪽이 보라색이고 이쪽이 다이아야. 요렇게 커브진 애들이 요거잖아요. 짧은 쪽이 네모고 요렇게야. 둥글게 가는 게 보라 파랑. 여기가 보라, 여기가 파랑. 어디 안 있어 지금? 이렇게 왔지. 요거는 똑같네. 아마 요거 같거든요. 그 다음에 파랑, 핑크. 파랑, 핑크. 오겠고. 이렇게다.
No, that was it.
Nice work. Did it
드디어
unlock?
퍼즐 하나 풀었다.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I'm not leaving without a clue. An empty egg is a clue, right?
이렇게 어렵게 했는데 빈 거라고요? 안은 부드러운 벨벳 소재다. 와 이거 너무 그 아이템량이 많은 것 같아. 이 위에
We're
눈이
at the
있어.
top of the tower, right?
I think so. Why?
Doesn't matter. It's nothing. Freya's painting supplies.
이 동네엔 죄다 금가인데 돈이 없는 거야 뭐야? 이거 봐. 얘만 브랜드가 달라요. 다 동그라미에 이렇게 물결 쳐진 건데 얘만 브랜드가 삼각 뾰족이에요. 수상해.
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed. Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush and palette when she fell.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
빨간 물감이 무서워. 노란색은 쓰지도 않았네. 아!
The outline of Freya fell out. Looks like there's a single patch of blood.
뒤로
Right in
넘어져서
the middle.
앞에서 찌른 건가?
No real signs of a struggle.
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
그럼 뒤에서 찔러서 앞으로 꼬꾸라져야 되는데
So she was probably standing really close to the canvas when she fell.
Let's check the case file again.
등을 바닥에 댄 채로 그러면 앞에서 뒤로 넘어졌다는 거잖아요. 헉! 아닌가? 여기 빨강이 없는 것 같은데 뭐지?
Supposedly, Freya was like she
Didn't
was
even get a chance to clean her brush.
아닌가? 뭐지?
a little pot plant, balanced on the window ledge.
It's the only plant in the entire room.
유일한 식물?
There it is, the unfinished.
So,
Looks
what?
that way.
여기는? 여기 있는 식물은 뭔데? 여기 유일하면 얘는 뭔데? 일단 말 걸어보자. 오 무서워.
Flora, fellow.
Hello? Whoa.
Hey, sorry to barge in. I'm sure you're still in some distress.
We need to ask you
말을 안
a few
하네.
questions, I'm afraid.
Did you witness the murder, Flora?
본 거야, 만 거야.
What do we do?
Not sure. She's entitled to her silence, I suppose.
For now.
당신은 묵비권을 행사할 수 있으며 그러면 당신은 좀 분리할 수 있을걸요?
Is there anything you'd like to tell us, Flora? I don't really know anything about you at all.
I think that's the way she likes it.
왜 말을
We'll
안
just
하지?
have to ask other people about her.
Yeah, okay.
Freya was painting your portrait yesterday. Is that right?
지금 끄덕끄덕
Was
하는
this
거지.
something you had planned with her ahead of time?
Was there something special about yesterday?
Did you talk to Freya at all while she was painting you?
She's not going to answer us, is she?
Nope. But at least we can say we tried.
알리바이를
Flora, you were
확인하나 봐.
definitely in the room at the time of the murder. Surely you must have seen something? Can you tell me anything about what happened to Freya?
아!
She's
뭐라고
acting
말 좀
pretty
해.
suspicious if you ask me.
I don't know. Maybe she really doesn't know anything.
How is that possible?
근데 이거 보면 눈 감고 있잖아요. 여기 보면
There
눈을
it
감고
is.
있잖아요.
Sounds that way.
그래서 아무것도 못 본 건가 싶기도 하고.
A bunch of old books, covered in dust now, but they look well read.
단선의 인물에 대해 물어볼 수도 있다고? 아 이걸로?
Were you close with Freya? How are you two related?
손녀 아니야?
Did you kill Freya?
Grimoire!
What? I don't even think she's listening.
Oh, she's listening.
좀 빡치신 것 같은데?
Did you ask Freya to paint this? Or was it her idea?
What is that you're holding in the painting, Flora? Some people have been saying it's a knife.
말을 한마디를 안 하네. 아무 말도 하지 않아. 애초에 반응할 만한 내용이 아닌가 보다.
Is this your gramophone?
Do you know why it's cracked? Flora, this is
야
your...
사람한테 네 알이냐고 하는 게 무슨 얘기야. 사람은 알을 낳지 않는다고요.
In there, or is it always empty?
수상해. 나머진 전혀 알지 못하는 것
Anything we should
같습니다.
know? Any hobbies besides staring out the window?
아무것도 이야기해주지 않네요. 아직은 좀 더 무언가 찾아봐야 되나
It's
봐.
so dark back there.
Somehow the sunlight doesn't seem to be making it very far into the room. Half the room is a big open window.
I don't know if you can call it an open window.
이런 거 거기서 많이 보지 않아?
It's more
에이픽스에서?
like the sudden absence of wall.
Freya's painting supplies.
이 서랍은 못
painting
여나?
supplies.
못 여네.
The whole room has a strange feeling about it.
Yeah, there might be a reason for that.
That's the only door in and
우리가
out of
왔다
the room.
갔다 한 곳인가
It's also
Sure is. Guessing it's not supposed to be down there. Half the room is a
I don't know
다
if it's
너덜너덜
the sudden
찢어졌지?
absence of wall.
일단 여기서 당장에 무언가 할 수 있는 건 없나 본데요. 아 그냥 누르면 가진나? 아 가진다. 가보자. 헉, 서재에 사람이 있었어. 아!
It's an illustrated book about birds.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or
서재야
it was left
연구실이야.
open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving.
얼룩새는 놀랍도록 똑똑한 새로 조류 미스티드 중에서도 수명이 굉장히 길다. 다른 새들은 종종 얼룩새에게 공격적인 성향을 보인다. 따라서 얼룩새는 대부분 생애를 홀로 보낸다. 불쌍. 이 새는 독특한 먹이 섭취 특성을 가지고 있는데 보통 탄툼 아미카의 열매만 먹는다. 탄툼 아미카가 무엇이야? 이거 아까 그 새 아닌가? 에? 이거다! 무기가 아니라 이걸 들고 있던 거야. 헉! 칼이 아니었던 거임.
Books about ancient history, I think.
These books are ancient history. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Good excuse.
Thanks.
전 여기 책을 좀 봐야겠는데 왜냐면 이거 아까 빨간 잉크에 있던
Books
그건데.
about geography.
Skip,
Books about geography.
skip.
지리학인데
A
왜?
book? Fundamental entomology.
I guess somebody dropped it.
Books about insects.
에이.
There's not a single book on
Huh.
it. Books about space.
They're relatively untouched. Is that a snow globe?
스노글로우?
Of sorts.
이거 완전 탱글 타워잖아.
It's a model of Tangle Tower. There's the lake and those weird mountains.
사실 우리의 세상은 스노우볼 안에 있는 세상이었던 거임. 사실
What are
우리의
you
뇌도
thinking?
통조림 속의 뇌인 거임.
That would make an amazing souvenir.
여긴 힌트 없나?
Hey, look at It's a model of... What are you
That
thinking?
would make an amazing.
Hey, look It's a model. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing. What's in those bottles?
통조림이 더
I'm
맛있잖아요.
not sure.
그냥 통보다.
Soil samples? It's musty.
What exactly does that mean?
Must. You ask such stupid questions.
Nice.
이건 뭐지?
Sure.
뭘 보고 있는 거지?
Why not build a science lab in the corner of the library?
The search for new knowledge. The archiving of old knowledge. It's downright poetic.
에이? 저기요.
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and
A
I need to
detective?
talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me,
Oh no? How come?
because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which, you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes.
네?
Surely you have
45
already
분이
reached a sturdy
지났는데도요?
hypothesis.
A hypothesis about the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all
어떤
the
규약이지?
suspects. And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist,
피피
inventor,
펠러.
innovator.
이거 F 집안이잖아 완전.
You will need
FFF잖아.
to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response without doing one a great disservice.
과학
So
테스트.
true.
일단 인격이 무엇인지부터 정의해야 하는데요, 같은.
So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
원래
Fifi,
가족은
you
다
said you
그렇다고
were a
얘기하지.
micro something or other.
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens
와,
instead.
정말
It automatically
대단해.
adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing.
알라? 그런
What can you
기능을?
tell me about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes,
왜
however,
살인이라고
you were
생각하시죠?
too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi?
I just need to know what
간식 먹으면서
happened.
해야지.
Me too. So
당
talk.
떨어지면 머리가 안
I knew
굴러간다고요?
ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans.
Poppy!
She was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
Good.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me. I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya
뭐?
was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the
그럼
face.
피피는 계속 방에 있었다는 거네?
She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor,
오 마이 갓!
I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
You performed that
What?
scientific test immediately.
살인사건
Even
현장을
though you
보도하는 게 의무란
Feeling so
말이에요.
upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other?
이 녀석 이상한 녀석.
The red paint on the brush is not paint. It is blood. Same for the palette.
So Freya added the blood to the painting herself?
Or blood got on the brush and palette some other way?
I do not know the answer. Freya is normally highly skilled at capturing someone's likeness, but in this painting, she has accidentally made Flora look quite young.
I think she was just being kind.
Why is that kind? Anyway, I'm far more interested in what Flora is holding. I performed the test on the red paint myself. I discovered that it was in fact not paint, but blood.
What made you want to test it in the first place?
It was Poppy. She told me she thought the painting looked like a bloody
파피가
knife.
몰아가고
I told her
있네.
not to be ridiculous. My mother owns no such knife. But then I noticed that the color was slightly too dark, and the substance itself was overly viscous.
You noticed that just from looking at it once?
Of course.
바로 알아본다고.
Fifi, did you test the red paint in this pot?
Yes, I did. I discovered it too was blood,
뭐?
not paint.
A whole pot full of blood?
Not a whole pot. It is only partially full.
Yeah, but still. Doesn't that freak you out?
근데 소름 끼쳐.
In fact, it may be considered rather
에?
reassuring.
그 녀석 이상한 녀석이에요.
Name, Freya Fellow. Age, 19. Profession, artist. Deceased. Understand this. Most people find me difficult. They exhibit a noticeable degree of discomfort when talking to me. There it is. Freya, who had a way of being an exception to any given rule, was not at all like this. She is very important, and I will not rest until I understand what has happened to her.
Did you spend a lot of time with Freya recently?
I will say this. In the past year, Freya became 1. Increasingly independent, and 2. Increasingly isolated.
Do you know why?
I do not. If you are looking for a speculative, empathetic opinion, try asking Poppy instead.
The three of you are friends.
파피는
We are
공감을
of
매우
a similar
잘하나
age,
보다.
and all highly gifted.
피피는
One
공감을
scientist,
전혀 안 하고.
one artist, and one musician.
Sounds like quite a
파피는
team.
음악가인가 봐. 저 첫 NPC 잘못 온 거
Name.
같죠?
Fiona Fellow. Age 19. Profession amateur microbiologist. Likes the
피피가
meaningful
아니라 피오나
archiving of information.
펠로스잖아, 이 녀석.
Dislikes the superfluous window dressing accompanying the majority of human contact. Notes: kindly disregard the polysyllabic form of my given forename and refer to me instead as Fifi.
How come you prefer Fifi?
Why
How come
피피?
you prefer Grimoire?
에?
How are you related to the other fellows?
Fitz is my cousin. His father, a man named Flint, was my uncle.
Was?
I do not know if Flint is alive or not. He left Tangle Tower a long time ago.
And what about Freya? How are you related to her?
We share exactly one grandparent.
음?
Name: Flora Fellow. Age: 44.
맞네?
Profession: unknown. Likes: unknown. Dislikes: unknown.
Isn't she your mother? How do you not know anything?
I believe other people may have discovered methods of reaching her, but I have little capacity for interpreting
에이,
nonverbal
너네
communication.
엄마인데?
And how long has Flora been non-verbal?
She has always been quiet, willing to speak when necessary, but not more.
So what happened to make her stop talking entirely?
She suffered a great loss, something she has been unable to move beyond.
뭐지? 말을 못한대요.
Fifi's bedroom should be unlocked now.
Can't wait.
일단 가볼까? 너무 과학자의 방이라서 짜증나요.
That's
음료수
a
좀
whole
치워.
lot of books.
음료수 좀
I don't know what
치워.
that drink is, but I bet it's 99% sugar.
I'd read you the ingredients, but there's nothing written on the can.
That's even worse.
음료수
I don't
좀
know what
치워.
that drink is.
I'd read you.
But
There's
that's even worse.
이거
It's a
뭐지?
magnifying glass.
돋보기.
A big one.
How come you don't have one of those?
Why? Because I'm a detective? Should I start smoking a pipe too?
나쁘지
You can
않지.
pull off a pipe.
It's a magnifying
How
glass.
come you don't?
Why? Should I start
You can pull off a pipe.
이 귀여운 건 뭐야?
Suspect.
새로운
Don't think you
용의자래.
can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise!
이렇게 갑자기 장단 맞추면 좀 그런데 나 혼자 재밌게 놀고 있던
Save
건데.
it for the judge. Scientific formulas. Probably. I'll openly admit I have no idea what any of it means. What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something Fifi's been writing.
Is it a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
감자칩.
What's that big book on the
Looks
desk?
like
Is
something.
it
I hope
감자
it's just a bunch
신경
of notes
써줘.
about her microbiology.
a pretty ornate window with a great view of the lake.
We're supposed to be looking for clues, not assessing the real estate value.
And over here, you'll see the owners use sheets of paper to block out all that unnecessary natural light. A simple trick, but it really transforms the space.
채광을 막는 용이라고요? 그게
It looks
무슨
like a
소리죠?
microscope, a big one.
Can I touch it?
보자. 이게 뭐야?
I'm not sure this is a microscope.
아. 아. 이런 걸 하는 거네. 이게 아닌가? 아, 밑에 있는 것처럼 만들라고? 어? 에? 사이즈 저렇게 맞추는 것도 힘들다. 잠깐만, 이게 제일 많이 키우는 이게 가장 많이 키우는 거고, 이게 가장 많이 키우고 얘가 두 번째고 얘가 세 번째고 얘가 네 번째인가? 얘는 오히려 작게 만드네. 그러면 여기가 제일 크니까 작아져야 할 것 같고요. 아, 그러네. 이 위에 이게 표시가 돼 있구나. 바본가? 바본가? 그럼 어디가 제일 크다는 거야? 이게 제일 키운다는 거야? 플러스 3일이니까? 얘는 줄여야 하고, 얘가 가장 커져야 될 것. 아닌가? 이건가 보다. 맞나? 여기를 어떻게 하는 거지? 이거 아닌가요? 이거 맞는 거 같은데?
I got it.
I'm
나이스!
impressed. Sounds like it unlocked.
Yeah, it's built on top of a little metal box. There's a book in here.
어. 비밀 일기장. 이거 제가 봐도 되는 건가요?
Homemade posters. This one's about the Pythagoras theorem.
Ah, I've not heard of that band.
피타고라스
Are they any
밴드?
good?
머리 아픈걸?
Stuff Fifi's thrown away.
You gonna rummage through the trash can?
No.
No.
That is quite beneath me, thank you.
I give it 5 minutes before you're in there.
Oh my god.
Fifi's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
네? 예?
Is Fifi trying to solve the mystery with math equations?
Maybe. Did you ever try that? Maybe it works.
이게 무슨
Who
소리야?
is that?
No idea. That's gotta be Flora. And that's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that. Do I?
지금은 못
Did you notice who
풀겠어.
isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself.
난 못 풀겠어. 난 저런 수학 못해.
Boxes of stuff. boxes of stuff.
Crystal chandeliers. Extra fancy.
I don't know. They just seem old-fashioned to me. Plus, they're kind of dusty.
일단 볼 거 다 봤나? 여기 가보자. 플레이어의 방이야. 요번에 안타깝게 돌아가신
Drawings. Taped up on the wall.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two people standing together and one of them's holding a red rose.
오 고백했나봐. 뭐라 돼 있는 거야?
It's a little wooden box for paintbrushes.
To the casual observer, maybe.
아 퍼즐이다. 내가
They're not
좋아하는
real
퍼즐.
paintbrushes. Looks like they're part of some kind
이게
of
자물쇠라고요?
lock mechanism.
세상이 어떻게 되려는 건지. 별게 다 자물쇠다. 이게 맞냐? 에? 애초에 사이즈가 맞는 것이 없는데요. 이렇게인가 보다. 야, 간단하네. 그래서 어떻게 하는 거지? 그래서 네? 그래서 이거 어떻게 쓰는 거죠? 이 아니고 센티미터 같은 거구나. 제일 끝에 주황색인데 하나 둘 셋 넷 다 여섯 개구. 하나 둘 셋 넷. 맨 밑에부터 하나 둘 세 개인가 본데? 그럼 여기니까 얘가 여기인가 본데? 그쵸? 녹색이 여기야. 녹색은 세 번째 줄이 없는데? 어? 어? 녹색은 여기 라인이 없는데? 색깔을 바꿀 수도 있나? 안 되는데? 뭐지? 일단 이렇게 해봐.
Nothing.
Did you find a hint on those scraps of paper? It looks like a ripped up jigsaw puzzle.
That was
Each brush has various characteristics. The information we need is on the paper.
지금 보면 여기랑 여기 있는 모양인 것 같거든요. 붓 모양. 근데 요런 빗자루 모양의 핑크면 얘 아니면 얘인데 컬러를 모르겠네. 여기는 요거 아니면 요거거든요. 근데 컬러 때문에 여기가 하늘인 것 같고 이렇게인가? 애초에 얘랑 만나는 데가 없는데.
still locked.
So, there's a couple of brushes with each characteristic.
뭘까? 도대체 뭐지?
Still locked.
So, there's a couple of brushes with each.
이게 3cm면
Still locked.
So, there's a couple of brushes with each.
다른 종이를 갖고 와야 되나? 응? 아닌데 뭐지? 여기가 기둥인 1단이라 치고 두 번째가 여기라 치면 붓이 얘는 여기가 맞거든요? 근데 위에 컬러를 봤을 때 여기가 이거고 여기가 블루가 되려면
Still locked.
So, there's a couple of brushes with each.
혹시 종이를 다 하나로 만드는 게 아닌가? 이 종이는 문제가 없어 보이는데? 여섯 개 가로. 원, 투, 쓰 위에로 3개인데? 저 지금 바본가요?
Still locked.
So, there's a couple of brushes with each.
여러분 눈엔 보이는데 제 눈에만 안 보이는 건가요, 설마? 조건이 하나 더 있다고요? 잠깐만. 응? 에? 저도 1도 모르겠어요.
Still locked.
There's a couple of brushes with each.
이건 맞는 것 같고.
Still locked.
There's a couple of brushes with.
기다려봐. 아니야. 여기는 일단 주황색이 가야 되는 게 맞고, 핑크의 이 모양이면 얘가 맞고, 하늘색이면 얘인데. 아니, 응?
Still locked.
So, there's a couple of brushes with each.
Still locked.
There's a couple of brushes with each.
Still locked.
So, there's a couple of brushes with.
아래? 이 길이가 뭐 있나?
I'll come back later.
딴 거부터 봐.
Freya's
지금
bare.
머리가 고장났어.
Looks pretty depressed.
He's had a rough couple of days.
나 고민형이 힘들었대. 어떡해.
That painting is really something.
Why would you want it looming over your bed like that?
Maybe Freya enjoyed the atmosphere it creates.
The atmosphere of chaos and oppression?
Hang on. There's a smaller version down by the floor.
It's a photograph.
위에 테이프가 붙어있고 가장자리에는 검은 줄이 이렇게 이어져 있다. 나중에 뭔가 나오려나?
Painting supplies. Painting supplies.
Do you think this was always supposed to be a bedroom?
I don't know. It is kind of a weird shape.
No windows either.
그러니까 창문도 없고 약간 감옥 같은 데 아니야?
Do you think this was?
I don't know.
No windows either. Do you think this was?
I don't know.
No windows either. Not the kind of lamp I choose for my bedroom, but fair enough.
It's cool. Looks like old mining equipment or something.
Did Freya paint those animals on her ceiling?
They're kind of simplistic.
Maybe she painted them when she was younger. That's weird.
What did you find in the drawers?
Nothing. They're completely empty.
아무것도?
Drawings.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two people. One of them's holding a red rose. A pillow with a paw print pattern.
It's a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't alliterate.
여기 밑에 이상한
Do you
문이
think this was
있어요.
always supposed to be a bedroom?
I don't know. It is kind of a weird shape.
No windows either. It's
생선.
I think it
fine. It's
could also be a shark.
just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
Freya's plants. They must not need. Do you think this was?
I don't know.
No windows either. Do you think this was?
I don't know.
No windows either.
여기선 일단 이걸 똑바로 해야 되나 본데?
To the casual observer.
아, 퍼즐부터 다시야? 너무한걸?
Nothing.
Did you find a hit? It looks like a ripped up jigsaw.
길이가 뭐가 있나? 길이는 진짜 모르겠는데? 위아래로는 줄일 수가 없어요. 잠깐만. 나만 지금 이렇게 바보 같다고?
That was.
Each brush has various characteristics.
길이, 분모양, 물감색, 손잡이색.
Handle color. The information we need is on the paper. Once it's been.
길이가 문제인데.
Still locked.
There's a couple of brushes with each.
갈수록 길어진다는 뜻이 되나? 아? 여기는 어쨌든 1이고 여기는 어쨌든 3이잖아요. 그럼 얘랑 얘는 길이가 다르긴 해야 된다는 뜻인 것 같거든? 근데 그렇게 치면 요 분 모양은 여기에 무조건 핑크랑 얘가 와야 되니까 이 친구밖에 없어요. 일단 아니지, 얘도 되네? 근데 그러면 하늘색이 안 맞기 때문에 짧은 애가 와야 돼서 얘가 일로 올 수밖에 없거든요? 왜냐면 주황색 중에 짧은 애는 얘밖에 없잖아? 그럼 얘는 여기 고정이나 치고 요거 핑크랑 이 모양은 얘네 둘인데
That's done it.
설명은 너무 생략했나? 아무튼 조건을 빼다 보면 이거밖에 없어요. 맨 앞에 주황색이고 짧은 애. 왜냐면 여기가 짧았잖아요. 여기가 길었고. 그러면 짧은 주황색은 얘밖에 없고. 그럼 녹색이랑 파랑을 일단 맞춰줘야 되는데 얘랑 얘랑 왔다 갔다. 얘랑 얘랑 왔다 갔다 해요 결국. 근데 여기는 붓 모양이 이거잖아? 그럼 붓이 요거밖에 없어. 설명 개 이상할게. 그리고 붓 모양이 이거니까 얘랑 얘랑 왔다리 갔다리인데 얘가 여기 고정이니까 파랑은 여기밖에 없어. 그러면 얘네 둘인데 그린이랑 여기 모양이 그거니까 그거예요.
What was in the box?
Just a photograph. Well, most of a photograph.
여기 뭐가 찢어졌어. 이거 아까 걔 아니야? 삐삐랑 요번에 죽은 애 아니야? 한 명은 빨간 머리 다른 한 명은 이거 녹색 머리야? 그렇대요. 작업장. 뭐야 이 보거. 귀여워.
Puffer fish?
Yes, it's also a lamp, for some reason.
It's Earth.
If Earth was made of paper and gave off a gentle pink light.
It's a barometer. That is broken.
귀엽게.
I've never seen a barometer that wasn't broken. The entire room is made of wood.
Oh, it's not just made of wood.
방마다 테마가 다 다르네.
I think it's the actual hull of a ship. What is it?
He's an imp.
인프?
What does he do?
Well, if you tell too many lies, he appears at the end of your bed in the middle of the night.
Oh.
아는 뭐가요? 뭐
The
알아?
entire room is made
No,
of
it's not
wood.
just. It's the actual hull.
Nice. A real treasure.
How do you know there's treasure in there?
Why else would it be
퍼즐이다.
locked? Plus, there's a treasure map hanging directly above it.
또 퍼즐인가요?
What's the deal with that painting on the front?
Not sure. We should check that treasure map too.
예? 이게 뭐죠? 뭔가 영어가 있고 숫자가 1부터 7이 있고 방향이 있습니다. 보물이 어딘데? A3 나무 A3 나무면 N이잖아.
Nothing.
Did you check the treasure map for clues? And what about that painting on the chest?
잠깐 여기에 X가 여기 있네. 그럼 지금 요게 보이는 걸 여기서 찾으라는 거잖아요. 오른쪽이 이거고 여긴데? 여긴데? 오른쪽이 산이고 왼쪽이 용이고 앞에 나무 있고 발밑에 이게 있는. 그럼 I4 남쪽이라는 거잖아요.
Still locked.
에이!
I think there's a connection between the painting, like they're different versions of the same thing. maybe?
아, 새도 날아다닌다. 그러면 요 느낌대로 이런 것도 있나? 배나 그런 건 없죠. 잘 보자. 요건 아니고 어디서 봐야 저게 보일까? 에이, 새가 관건이네. 이 X를 기준으로 위에냐 아래냐거든요. 이렇게 보면 이렇게 어딜 봐야 되는 거야? 어디 보자. 파도도 치나? 파도는 안 치거든요. i3인가? i3 N방향 보기.
That was
The padlock has 3 different, just a grid reference for the map.
여기서 N방향을 보는 게 아닌가 봐. 그러면 다시 보자. 여기를 기준으로 동서남북 어딘가에 있거든요, 지금. 왼쪽이 용인데? 여기다. 요쯤입니다. 여기서 이렇게 보면 왼쪽이 용, 오른쪽이 이거 새 이거 맞죠? 여기 위니까 H6 서쪽.
I did it. What do I
Yeah!
Not bad.
Not bad. 무엇이 나왔죠?
What was in the box?
More wooden models. These are a little different to the one on the desk.
이게 뭐야? 헉! 이거 봐. 이거 위에 있어야 되는 이게 일로 와 있잖아 지금. 이 아저씨 수상해.
And oh,
Probably cursed. The entire.
oh, it's not just made, it's the actual hologram.
A little hand-painted statue.
How can you tell it's hand painted?
Well, the paints are right there on the desk. Also, I mean, no offense, but you can just tell.
이거 봐.
It's a drinking horn.
Is it full of ale? Or mead, maybe?
Right now, it's just full of dust.
Oh.
이거 침대야?
A hammock.
I would politely describe it as lived in.
저기요.
Sir? Can you hear me? I'm
Can you
Private
hear
Detective
me?
Grimoire. I have some questions for you.
Grimoire. Good mysterious name. I'd rather like it. Felix Fellow at your beck and call.
Felix
And,
Fellow.
this is my colleague, Sally.
Yeah, that's a perfectly good name as well.
Thanks.
If you would, Mr. Fellow, we really need to ask you about the murder.
Well, I must say I'm
네?
rather jealous of you two.
Oh, yeah? Why's that?
Out here solving mysteries, exploring new places.
살인 사건
uncovering
현장인데요.
secret rooms, hidden treasures.
이
That's
사람
what life
약간
is all
모험에
about.
로망이 있는
Secret
사람인 것
rooms?
같은데?
Generally speaking, you know, that sort of thing.
네?
So, Felix, what exactly do you do?
Is it not obvious? I'm an explorer. Explorer / treasure hunter. Yes, well,
Treasure
best in
hunter.
the world.
We're talking like curse statues, spike pits.
It's a little more sophisticated than that. But I've certainly seen my share of danger, if that's what you're asking.
And, if I may ask, when did you retire?
You listen here. I may be between ventures right now.
아,
but
모험은
it's
그만둔
simply
적
not
없다고.
in my nature to stay in one place for too long.
모험이
I go
휴식기라고.
wherever the winds of destiny take me.
Don't you live here with your wife and daughter?
Yes, well, the fellow family has certain
하나만 해주실래요?
loyalties, and with Flora the way she is,
Nothing wrong with raising a family, Mr. Fellow.
don't misunderstand me. Fiona and Flora are my entire world. They are the greatest treasure of all.
그러면 안 가도 되겠네.
Why on earth would you want to know about that?
The murder of Freya Fellow. The reason we're here?
Ah, right. Nasty business. Very unfortunate. I regret that I can't be of any help. But I wish you all the best
사람
in your
의심스러워.
investigation.
Hear that, Grimoire? We're done here. Let's go.
It's a simple question, Felix. I'm sure you're up to it.
Well, there's not much to tell. Mostly, I was in my room by myself, working on Flora's, working on a project.
Your room is quite close to Flora's tower. You didn't hear anything unusual?
What qualifies as unusual?
What have you got?
얼들을
It
줬네요.
was dusk. A feeling lingered in the air. Malevolent, perhaps. Uncertain, as life itself.
Abridged version, please.
Right, fine. I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room. The footsteps were calm, orderly, so I thought nothing of it.
평온했고
Shortly
정숙했다고?
afterward, I heard a second set of footsteps, going the same way. This time I could tell just from the sound that something was wrong. So I looked out into the
Poppy?
hallway. I got a glimpse of Poppy disappearing down the staircase to the floor below. Didn't know what to make of it, to be honest. I thought perhaps she'd had a disagreement with
파피보다 앞에 내려간 사람이
I
있다는
know
거네.
those two are close. So I looked into his room, just in case, but it was empty, as was the garden beyond his window. Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her. We went into Flora's room. Poor Freya was laying on the floor. Fiona, Poppy, Fitz, and Pointer were there already. Flora, too, of course. Soon enough, everyone else made their excuses and left.
Including you?
Not I. I stayed. Flora needed me.
등장인물이 너무 많아. 지금 뭔가 등장인물 외우지도 못했다.
My daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
뭐지?
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called
아우.
uncommonly skilled as an artist, but Freya was so much more than her talent. She helped me get started with my own painting, you know. It taught me what she knew about wood carving, too. Tremendous patience. She was ever so good with dear Flora.
Freya and Flora were close?
Oh, yes, especially after...
그 후로? 그
especially
후로? 먼 후로?
recently.
How are you related to Freya?
Somewhat distantly, as it happens. My father, Lord Fellow, was her grandfather. Technically, that makes her a fellow. Let's just say there was some discussion over whether she ought to carry the name at all. There's a family tree in the Grand Hall. You should take a look at it.
What about her inheritance?
Freya's parents died when she was around 3 years old.
혼자
She
산지
came to live
오래됐구만.
here shortly afterwards.
Nobody left her a thing?
I'm afraid not. She had no formal claim over
그러면은
anything
뭔가
at Tangle
재산
Tower.
분쟁 때문에 발생한 건 아닌 것 같은데.
You're the one currently basking in his presence. You tell me.
Let's move on.
Dearest Flora, a remarkable woman. Oh, yes. Been married over 20 years now.
You two still get on?
Of course. What a question.
100%
She
부부
hasn't
사이 안
gone
좋다.
quiet on you.
It's true she has an independent streak. She's had it her whole life. She's the youngest of 3. Always something of a lone wolf, you know? Just the way she is.
Lone wolf is putting it lightly. She doesn't seem to want to talk to anyone.
She just likes time to herself, away from the company of other humans.
Other humans?
Other well, yes, other people, you know.
이상해 이 녀석. 이 사람을 뒤 흔들만한 거 한번 물어보자.
Looks like Freya's paints.
Do you know why the pots are cracked down one side?
No, that's very odd. They're normally in excellent condition.
You seem pretty sure about that.
말 안 해 이 녀석.
I've been carving for a couple of years now. I was hopeless when I started, but it didn't take me long to master it, as you can see.
지금도 가망이 없어 보이는데요?
Do you paint them yourself too?
I do indeed. Freya kindly taught me the basics. Nowadays, I can make just about anything I can imagine. Of course, this particular model is a self-portrait based on hard fact.
Hard fact, huh? So, you own a sword, Felix?
Of course, I own a great many. But my weapons are stored well away from Tangle Tower.
어디요?
Safety first and all that.
Does Florin normally keep something in here?
She must do, but I admit I've never managed to work out what.
Why not just ask her?
I feel like if somebody keeps something locked away in a ceramic egg, it's because they don't want to be asked about it.
비밀은 잘 지켜준다는 거네.
Ah, you found it. What,
찾으면 안 될 걸 찾았나요, 제가?
I had to rush the.
이거 살인 사건 현장이지 않나요? 아닌가?
It turned out all right, though.
What's it supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course, surrounded by all her favorite people.
저 새는 뭐지?
There's something about Felix's painting supplies.
나도 할 말 있어.
Let's ask him about it.
So, about this paint we found in your room.
이렇게
Nothing
혐의를
suspicious
하는
about
거구나.
I used it to paint, obviously. Totally normal thing to do.
We never said it was suspicious.
Come on then, out with it. What exactly are you accusing me of?
이건 당신의
It's
물감통이
not your
아닙니다.
paint pot. Did you take it from somewhere else?
What on earth? It's definitely mine. I even have proof. Look, the lid matches the ones on all my other paint pots. End of discussion.
That's not the end of the discussion.
We need a clue to compare with Felix's red paint. Something to prove who it actually belongs to.
프리아의 물감.
Let's take a closer look at this.
프레이의 빨간 물감통은 도난당해서 몰래 뒤바뀌어 있던 것은 그리고 이걸 숨기기 위해 뚜껑을 바꿨다.
Freya's red paint pot was stolen and replaced with Felix's red paint pot, but the lids were swapped to hide it.
That red paint is from Freya's supplies, not yours. Swapping the lids doesn't hide what you did.
Why are you bothering me about paint anyway? And none of this is connected to your murder.
너무 어렵다. 왜 훔치려 했지? 여기에 없었던 것은 빨간 물감. 아닌데. 이 물감통을 가득 채운 것은 피이며 잠기진 않아. 잠겼다? 아니야, 펠릭스가 프레야의 걸 왜 훔치려 했을까? 뭘까? 필로라를 그리기 위해 프레야가 쓴 후이다. 프레야가 필로라를 그리는데 쓰기 전에 이건가?
This red paint pot contained no red paint before Freya used it to paint Flora. Nope.
나. 이거에 가득 찬 것은 피이고 그 후 잠겨졌다.
This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood and then locked away. Almost. Maybe just change one thing. This red paint pot
이건가?
was somehow filled with blood and emptied out onto the floor. Almost.
야.
Maybe just change. This
이건가?
red paint pot was somehow filled with blood.
이게 원문이 영어다 보니까 이런 문법적인 게 좀 어려워요. 하나만 바꿔야 되면 여기가 지금 문제인 거 아니야?
This red paint pot was somehow filled with blood before Freya used it to paint Flora.
그림을 그리는 도중인데 이게 영어 원문이라서 좀 다르게 해석되나 보다.
Right. Fine. Here's the story. I was busy working on a project when I suddenly realized I had run out of red
What
paint.
프로젝트?
There was a certain amount of time pressure, so I politely asked Freya if I could borrow hers. Just for a little while, you know. Perfectly reasonable request.
But she said no.
I tried to explain why I needed it, but she didn't seem to care. So, well, I took Freya's red paint pot and swapped it with my own empty one.
You went into her room?
Not my proudest moment, but it's just paint.
다 큰 어린이.
I didn't touch anything else.
And the paint pot you left behind was definitely empty?
Quite. I have absolutely no idea how it got blood
피가
in
들어있는 건
it, if that's
어떻게
what you're
알아?
asking.
Why were you in such a hurry to get a hold of
아,
red
이미
paint
그 정보는
anyway?
다 알고 있나?
I was trying to finish this in time for Flora's
아!
birthday. I needed red to paint the final details.
Could you not have just used a different color?
그런 이유라면 이 녀석은 나쁜 사람이
It
아닌
had to be
건데.
red and white.
If you managed to finish it, why haven't you given it to Flora yet?
Well, I decided against it in the end. After what happened, seemed a bit insensitive.
이런.
Locked.
이런.
Have you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
이 사람 절대 말 안 하는데.
I really thought she was gonna say something there.
This is a photo of Fifi, isn't it? Your daughter?
아,
You haven't seen this yet, have you?
It's a little model of you. Who were the other people next to you?
이름 정도 말해줘라.
We met Felix, your husband. He's one of our suspects, and he seems pretty suspicious if you ask me. So, if you want to stick up for him, now's your chance.
남편을 변호하려는 부인은 별로 없는 건가?
Nice try.
사이가 안 좋은 부부라면 그런 법이죠.
We spoke to your daughter Fifi. She's some kind of super intelligent scientist. You must be proud of her.
이 사람은 일단 당장은 입열 일이 없나 봐요.
Fifi's got
What
something.
is all this?
설마 사랑하는 사이를... 잠깐만!
Who is that?
No idea. Is that supposed to be me?
That's just the face you make. Does make you wonder though. When did Fifi draw?
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself.
피피가 갑자기 의심스럽군요. 사랑에 의해서 어쩌고 저쩌고 했을 수도 있잖아.
Name, Felix Fellow. Age, 53. Profession, none.
나!
Likes, collecting objects of negligible monetary value and assigning them personal value. Dislikes, the inescapable realities of human existence. Notes, Felix is my father and legal guardian.
And, is he a good dad?
I have no point of comparison.
다른
but
아빠가
I would
없긴
say
하니까.
no.
No?
Why?
Why not?
You asked me a binary question. Do not get upset that I provided one of the two possible answers.
What makes him a bad father, Fifi?
He has trouble expressing his emotions, and something of a willful detachment from reality.
Huh. Just like you, then.
Grimoire.
No, he is quite correct. This photograph is my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me.
에이?
Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third.
누가 있던
I
걸까?
believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever.
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time. There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz. A book. My book.
And what's in it?
Pages. That belongs to my mother. I think she must be fond of eggs. There are a number of egg-shaped carvings to be found in the garden and in the Grand Hall.
Yeah, what's the deal with all the eggs?
Some people just like eggs.
There's something about the image of Flora in the painting. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
뭐지? 난 지금 뭐지? 아, 아까 그 새 털 그건가 보다.
I think it's a family tree.
필리처럼, 아니
Half
피처럼.
fellow, half Everstone.
Do you think he still lives here?
파피는 어디 있어?
Poppy Pointer.
She's half Remington and half Pointer.
Do you think she still lives here?
이렇게 둘이 사귀나 봐. 여보세요. 당신의 혐의를
So,
어쩌고
This
옵니다.
painting, specifically that knife in Flora's hand.
Yeah, it's creepy. But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So what's going on?
이건
It's
칼이
not a
아니야.
knife.
호.
We need a clue to compare with the painting. Something to explain what that knife shape actually is.
이건 새 깃털이야.
Let's take a closer look at this.
그려진 칼이 실제로는 얼룩새의 것이다.
The painted knife is actually just a feather from an ink dip bird.
It's
말하나?
definitely the right shape, but the book's not in color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically. Is there anything to suggest that the ink dip bird is red and white too?
이거. 호.
This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for Flora. And come to think of it, why would Flora be holding a feather in the painting anyway?
사실 이 집안은 페니는 누구야? 나 전혀 모르겠는데. 플로라와 이 빨갛고 빨갛고 하얀 새의 관계는? 얼룩새는 플로라의 애완동물이야. 그래서 보관한 거야. 기억하기 위해서 깃털 한 대를. 플로라의 애완동물이 죽었나봐.
The ink dip bird was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather to remember it by.
She kept the bird as a pet. And it died?
Maybe it flew away.
Flora spends all her time staring out the window.
애완동물이 죽었거나
By
도망간
the way,
이후부터
she
실어증에
kept the
걸린 게
feather.
아닌가?
I think it was pretty important to her.
All right. So she was holding the feather while Freya was painting her. But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does. Normally. This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
여긴가봐.
That we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty. Flora?
뭔가 말하나?
She's pointing at something in the corner of the room.
It's just a pile of books. They're not... Wait, there's something tucked inside this one.
아, 프레야가 플로라에 이런 걸 그려서 줬나봐. 첫 만남 같은 건가봐. 첫 만남에 대한 그림을 줬나봐. 프레야는 자기 딸이 아닌데 엄청 자녀처럼 키웠네.
What is
I
that?
think it's a family...
그냥 프레야는 여기잖아요.
Freya Fellow.
the murder victim.
She's barely related to the main.
자기 자녀도 아닌데 그게 이번에는 이쪽 집 한번 가볼까? 음악실이다. 응?
Whatever it is, it's playing a little trumpet.
Well, it is the music room. He's got to practice.
What's with all the broken glass?
뭐지?
Sheet music. It's handwritten.
That's a lot of notes. Looks pretty difficult.
Probably why they're on the floor. Whatever it is, it's...
Well, it's got to
What's
practice.
with all the broken glass?
약간 똑같은 바이올린.
Who plays the violin, I wonder?
It's pretty dusty, so I'm guessing nobody.
Are they paper lanterns?
Whatever they are, I like them. It's like a little parade of floating spirits.
Are they...
Whatever, like a little parade.
One old wooden bookcase.
이러다 불나.
25 dry old books.
Mm-hmm.
4 lit candles.
Yeah.
Am I the only one seeing the problem?
불나. 깜짝이야.
Are you a ghost?
Sally! That's rude! Unless she is a ghost.
It may come as a disappointment,
말한다.
but I am alive.
Ah,
That makes you a suspect, I'm afraid.
I know.
what's your name?
My name is Poppy. I'm a pointer. And a pianist.
We'll need to ask you a few questions about Freya.
I know.
Hey, you're pretty good.
All in the wrist. And 13 years of dedicated practice.
오.
I'm just me. There's nothing to know.
이 동네
How
사람들
are
왜
you
이렇게 다
related to the other
방어적이야?
painters?
My father is Percival Pointer. The professor spends most of his time hidden away in his tower. Barely speaks to anyone these days. Especially not the fellows.
Do you get on with the fellows?
2 of them. Fifi and Freya are my closest friends. We all turned 19 last year.
다 동갑이야.
People ever leave Tangle Tower? I don't mean to be rude. It's just, if you're 19...
You don't have to answer that, Poppy.
It's a fair question. I'd like to move away. Definitely. Fifi, Freya, and I would often talk about it, argue about it. Freya wanted to leave, but Fifi... Things are more complicated for her.
What about now?
After what happened, I really don't want to stay here much longer.
그 사건이란 게 살인 사건을 얘기하는 게 맞겠죠?
3.5 hours of piano practice. Soon
눈
as I wake
뜨자마자
up.
연습을
Same
3시간
as
반.
always.
3.5. Does that not hurt your hands?
Sure.
And you do this in the music room?
No, I prefer to practice in my room. When I make mistakes, I like to make them in private.
What did you do after that?
I was supposed to meet Fifi in the library, but I totally forgot. When I finally got down there, she'd already gone. I checked her bedroom, but it was locked.
Was Fifi not in there?
No idea. She
응?
keeps her door locked either way. So I went back upstairs and out into the moonlight garden.
The what?
The little garden on the roof outside my room.
Was it just you up there?
No. Fitz came outside after a while. His room's on the other side. He's been teaching me about flowers.
So, did you talk to him?
Not really.
You ignored each other.
I didn't say that. Fitz and I were up in the moonlight garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds. I've been trying to decide how to describe it, but I'm struggling. It was like something drilling into a piece of
중간
metal.
정원이 양쪽을
different.
잇는 곳인가 봐.
Worse. I was pretty sure it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there to check. Her door was locked.
어?
Nobody was answering. I knew Freya and Flora were both supposed to be in there, so I made Fitz kick down the door. I went inside. Freya was lying on the floor.
Flora was in the room too?
Yeah. I think she realized what had happened at the same moment I did. I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi. Her door was still locked, but I knocked and shouted at her. Eventually she let me in. The lights were off, but I could see she'd already been
바람말에서
crying.
울고 있던
I
시간인가 봐.
told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry. First time I've ever seen her angry. I dragged her out into the hall. My father was there too, for some reason. The three of us went back up to Flora's tower.
아버지라는
Then
사람
Felix
수상해.
arrived. He had Penny with him. Fifi had this idea. She wanted to do some kind of scientific test. She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes. After she was done, she went back upstairs and I went back to my room.
That's it?
That's it.
동선이 지금 보면 뽀삐 아빠 빼고는 다 얼추 맞거든요. 알리바이를 증명할 인물들도 좀 있는 것 같고.
Between the lips a silver spoon, a story written all too soon. The chosen dwelling of her heart, unjustly chosen to
겉본
depart.
뮤지컬.
Lost her liberation lays in the center of a maze. Foregone
와,
drifter,
역시 음악가네.
moving fast. Days a shadow seeker past. Is it bravery or surrender? Accepting that your world will render nothing darker than the gloom. Some four walls make round a room.
와우.
Needless noise from tongues expel, unless within the mouth they dwell. The
완전
spoken
시야.
word, unfit for dealing with the shifting form of feeling. Stand unblinking in the face of taciturn and soundless space. Hard of head, but free of mind, unimprisoned, unconfined. With starry eyes, she sees beyond, behind our walls, beneath our pond. A soul untied, it's hers, it's free. Was then, is now, will ever be. That's me.
우와.
I'm on a list of murder
스스로에
suspects.
대해서는 너무
Always thought that would be
가혹한
kinda
걸.
cool, but it's just tedious.
Falls a little short, doesn't it?
음악이 바뀌어서 깜짝 놀랐네.
This is a photo of Fifi and Freya, right?
Yeah,
나머지
How come you're
뽀삐야?
not in it? You're friends with them too, aren't you?
I'm not really one for photographs.
에이, 그럼 딴 사람인가?
Fifi looks like she really admires Freya.
Fifi's loyalty to Freya is unshakable. Hey, that's me. Not a bad likeness.
It looks like you're standing in a rose bush.
Is there something wrong with that?
둘이 같은
Is
사람을
that supposed to be
좋아했나?
Flora?
Possibly?
Oh, how nice. When I first saw it, I thought it looked like Flora was holding a knife, with blood on the tip.
You don't think that anymore?
No, it was a stupid thing to say. The room was dark. I was in shock. I'm just an idiot.
But it was blood on the tip. If you hadn't said anything, maybe Fifi wouldn't have checked.
Exactly. It's stupid.
But we would have missed out on an important clue.
Is it a clue? Really? Tell me how it's a clue. Tell me how it helps. Nothing about the knife
이렇게
makes any
꼬여있니?
sense. It's just freaking everyone out. Wish I'd never said anything.
What do you make of the statue?
I know that's the only harp in the whole of Tangle Tower. I've never actually seen a real one.
Maybe it's from before your time.
Oh, definitely. You see how old this statue is?
What about the symbols? One of them looks like piano keys.
Yeah. Weird.
뭐지?
Is that Fifi's diary? I'm sure I've seen it in her room before.
That's where we found it.
Have you ever read it? Do you know what's written in there?
Nope. I'm sure she wouldn't appreciate me invading her
말아도
privacy.
싫긴 해.
I thought you and Fifi were close friends.
친해도 얘기를
Yeah,
안
we
보여주잖아.
are. It's just Fifi's gotten kinda impatient with me recently.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure
뭘
she'd tell you if
잘못했냐?
you asked.
Oh, she would. she'd give it to me straight. Probably why I've been avoiding it. It was my mother's originally.
So,
Oh.
why is it up in Flora's room?
She just gets the most use out of it. Freya would borrow it too sometimes.
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style, is it?
But who else would own a tape like
피아노
this?
연주했는데
Literally anybody.
뭐지?
All right. Poppy's bedroom is unlocked.
I wonder what's in there. There's something about that diary we found in Fifi's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
A single red rose.
이거 그림에 있던 그
How
장면가
very
본데?
traditional.
Yeah, weird. It's an octopus.
No, it's not. It has 6 legs, not 8.
두 개 먹었나 보지.
Don't say it.
Sextopus.
That is the bed of a vampire.
뱀파이어.
I thought vampires slept in coffins.
This is a vampire who needs firm support for their lower back.
뱀파이어도 허리가 아프구나. 근데 너무 이거
Oh, thank goodness, there are 7 lit
너무
candles.
안 좋은 저거 아니에요? 무서운
Wouldn't want it
집이야
to be
여기.
dark in here.
눈
Ah,
모양이다
yes,
이거.
a giant symbol drawn
아까
in chalk
거기
on the floor.
천장에도 똑같이 달려있던 거.
Oh, it's a good omen.
It's an eye.
이건 뭐지?
It's a metronome
아,
for keeping time.
It's ticking.
엥?
Is it a bomb?
It's supposed to be ticking. Not sure what those symbols are, though.
이게 뭐지? 에? 아! 이렇게 하는 거네.
That's done it.
설명할까요? 밑에 네모난 거랑 십자 모양, 동그란 거랑 십자 모양, Y랑 동그라미, Y랑 네모라서 그 친구들만 움직이게 하는 건가 봐요.
Neat. What happened?
Little hatch unlocked in the back.
문이
Anything in
있어?
there?
Mm-hmm. It's a photograph.
아, 밑으로는 뒤에 문.
Part of a photograph.
파피가 아니야? 혹은 과거의 갸루 시절의 파피야?
There's something about that pink cassette tape. Something suspicious.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
Sheet music. Presumably
It's
for...
only a few notes. I'd barely even call that music.
Yeah, it's been framed though. Must be important for some reason.
파피 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 갸루. 이건 무슨 악보인지 모르겠네.
There's a name for this kind of piano.
여기서 연습했다는 거지. 이런 피아노 뭐지? 오르간
You
아니야?
know, these ones that stand upright. Anything in the drawers?
Nothing you need to know about.
아우! 오케이. 오케이. 말하지 않아도 뭔지 알겠어.
Various handmade posters.
What do you think those symbols mean?
Hopefully, nothing.
업라이트라는 말이 있어요? 저 처음
But
들어봤어요.
roomy. Anything in the wardrobe?
Dresses mostly. I never realized there are so many shades of black.
마비노기 한번 맛 좀 보여줘야겠는걸? 세상에 다양한 검은색? 같은 검은색은 없어 하늘아래.
A lamp. It is most definitely turned off. Empty.
이건 뭐야?
Gloomy.
But roomy.
얘는 뭐야?
A big glass door. Leads out into a garden. Somehow.
There's a little mechanism by the handle.
아. 뭐야?
Nothing.
All
Still,
4 tiles have.
those other symbols.
I
look
think it is. But
응?
Nope.
maybe the information we need isn't here.
So where is it?
Somewhere else.
아직은 못 하나 봐.
I
일단
guess we'll
패스.
come back later.
이제 따지러 가야 되거든요. 여기에. 너 수상해.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Does this belong to you, Poppy?
Now that's not really my style.
뭐지?
is it?
딴딴딴.
But who else would own a tape like this?
Literally anybody. This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy.
뭐지?
I don't know what that is.
이게 뭔지 모르겠다고요?
Weird. Considering we found it hidden in your room?
Well, my room is full of junk. There's probably a bunch of stuff hidden in there. I don't mean like... Please stop talking to me.
네?
Don't look at me. I didn't break it.
Does anybody else use the music room?
Yes. I don't know who, but I can tell when somebody else has touched the piano. How sweet. Whose paints are those?
They belong to Felix, I think.
뭔가 생각이
I
났나?
think everybody sees something different.
Did Freya ever tell you what she saw in it?
Not exactly. She said something about it being from a recurring nightmare.
악몽이 나온다고?
Sorry, but if it was from a nightmare, why would you paint it and leave it in front of your bed?
Maybe she wanted to take control of it. Giving something a physical form can make it easier to deal with. Well, sometimes. That belongs to Flora, I think. Freya would always load up the palette with all the exact colors she was gonna need. I think it helped her zone out and focus on the actual painting itself. Like getting all your sheet music lined up before playing a long
피가
piece.
실제로 그 친구의
Right.
피는 맞을까?
So the blob of black paint in the middle, that was for painting Flora?
Flora's dress, yeah. She wears even more black than I do. Don't you think that's weird? That the letter isn't addressed to
이
anyone?
편지 뭔가 비밀
signed by
편지인데
anyone.
뭐지?
Someone's being deliberately secretive.
Or they're trying to manipulate you. Why is the glass cracked down one side?
Natural wear and tear, maybe?
No way. Freya took good care of her stuff. What was inside?
Nothing.
거기 물감은 왜 빠개져 있지?
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an
It's piano.
awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
당신은 예전에 이런 색을
You used
좋아했습니다.
to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
이거잖아.
Let's take a closer look at this.
분홍색의 카세트 테이프는 이거랑 세트인 거지. 이것은 사건 현장에서 발견된 것과 일치한다. 그것은 바로 올해의 사진이며 파피가 사용한 것이다.
Cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
That is not me.
뭐?
It is. I'll prove it.
너 맞잖아.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
파피는 더 이상
Poppy
그렇게
doesn't want
보이고
to look
싶지
like that
않아.
anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
The reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape
어떻게
at
하면
the
사람이 몇
exact
년 안에 이렇게
moment she was
바로
killed.
반대가 되죠?
There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
당장은 더 털 게 없군요. 수상한 너! 이 칠판 조사 아직 안 했어.
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a club?
아우. 이게 뭐야?
Any idea what this means?
Not a clue.
Any idea what this means?
Not a clue.
Ma-
Don't look at them for too long. You'll give yourself a headache.
이게 뭐야?
I'm not sure I learned anything from that.
An item from Poppy's childhood. Her earliest piano lessons hold some
Why's
special...
that?
No idea. She has never graced me with the details, and I am not forthcoming enough to ask.
You two are friends, right?
We are, yes.
But
It is clear to me now that Poppy has become tired of my company.
is it anything to do with Freya?
Oh, no. The changes in Poppy's mood have nothing to do with Freya. Her concerns simply lie elsewhere.
하하!
Who
개비웃네
is
이거!
that in the photo?
야! 너 친구래!
I'm quite sure that I have no idea.
왜?
Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it
왜
was
모른다
Poppy?
하지?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be? Freya drew these,
Yeah, I think so. There's a note on the back.
but she never showed them to me.
Well, I think it was a gift for your mother, like a private thing between Freya and Flora.
A wooden carving of my father, made by my father. Although, now that I look at it, I do not understand how he was able to paint the red parts without any red paint. It is a model of Freya, made by my father.
A model of Flora, you mean?
And a man with a beard. And a little red and white creature.
Why would my father make a model of Freya? The statue itself does not interest me, but I do wish to know about those symbols on the
나도
heart.
궁금해.
Have you deciphered their meaning yet?
We're working on it.
We are?
This belongs to Poppy. In fact, she owns a number of cassette
파피는 여러
tapes.
가지를 갖고
What
있다고?
happened to it, though?
It has been left underwater for an extended period of time.
Right. But why?
I do not know why.
Is she
이
laughing?
녀석 파피의 과거만 나오면
The
계속
gramophone belongs to Poppy,
개쪽이네.
but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When
하하하하하.
did it get cracked?
하하하하하.
Pinpoint it exactly. All I know
얄미워.
is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days. Curious. Name: Poppy Pointer. Age: 19. Profession: Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
크리스마스. 아 이거?
What is your opinion of Tangle Tower?
Oh, it's impressive. Elaborate gardens, unique architecture.
Must be worth a fortune.
Why do you ask, Fifi?
I am the heir of the Fellow family and the Remington family. This makes me the sole beneficiary of Tangle Tower.
That's quite an inheritance.
They can't make you do anything, Fifi. If you don't want the house, just tell them. Or just sell it. Who cares?
You sound like her. I require facts. What do you know?
Well, we know Freya was stabbed with a knife, and then she fell.
Correction. She was stabbed with something. There was no knife found at the crime scene,
Apart from the one in the painting.
which as a mere abstract representation does not count. Nobody has ever been stabbed by the concept of a knife.
Is this your diary,
뭘까?
Fifi? We found it in your bedroom.
Of course it is mine. Ridiculous question.
Why is it locked up like that?
Would you seriously require an explanation? Very well. A fairly common concept, the so-called secret diary, is favored in particular by girls between the ages of 10 and...
So there are secrets written in here?
도대체 무슨 비밀이 있을까?
This particular diary is
Eh?
unused.
It doesn't look unused.
선물로 줬나?
It's somebody else's diary.
How could you arrive at that conclusion? It is kept in my bedroom. It is mine.
We need a clue to compare with the diary. Something to prove who the original owner was.
에? 에? 에, 뭐가 있지? 이 별? 별 모양? 별. 아! 여기 있다! 여기
Let's take a
있어!
closer look at this. This blue book is the same thing as the secret diary, which proves it belonged to Freya.
You were hiding Freya's diary in your room.
전혀
And you
몰랐어.
kept it locked, too.
Why would I do either of these things?
프리야의 프레야의 비밀을 지켜주기 위해서인가 봐. 친구니까.
Freya didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary. Almost. Maybe just change one thing.
뭐지? 뭐지?
didn't want anyone to
이것도
see
아닌데.
personal secrets kept in her bedroom. Nope.
피피의 비밀이 프레야 일기 속에 있었나 보다. 그래서 프레야가 죽자마자 일기장 뿌려서
Fifi
잠갔나 봐.
didn't want anyone to see personal secrets within Freya's diary.
Is this true, Fifi?
I know Freya was your friend, but if you're trying to hide something,
You did not know Freya, so this might be difficult to understand. She did her own thing.
프레야가 자꾸 주변 사람들 아카이빙 했나
By
본데?
concealing Freya's written accounts, it is simply my intention to preserve her innocence.
Innocence?
might be easier if you just let us read the diary, Fifi.
Very well. I will open it. However, as you read it, please remember, Freya was the most kind
아
and the
원문은
most
피피가
wise
프레야의
person
비밀을
I have
지켜주고
ever
싶다. 그럼
known.
내가 추리한 게 맞는 거네.
Alright, Fifi unlocked the diary.
Finally. What's in there?
그게 다시 보인다. 이번에는 실제로 나인가 내가 그렇게 만든 것인가 그 그림을 찢어야 할 것 같다. 영혼 전달자는 성공이 있다. 장한 녀석. 이제 내게는 2개가 있다. 이게 무슨 소리지? 중앙으로 가는 길을 찾았다. 하프랑 비교하면 굉장히 단순했다. 그들을 모두 봤다. 5 모두 눈을 모두 까맣게 그었다. 뭔가 비밀 루트인가 봐. 나는 아직 지켜야 할 약속이 있다. 뭐지? 전혀 모르겠는데?
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a classroom?
이거 내 생각엔 가게도 같은데 어떻게 생각해요? 아닌가? 다른 건가?
I'm not sure I learned anything from that.
여기 방을 한번 봐볼까?
Fifi's got something.
What is all this?
아닌 것 같기도 하고.
Did you notice who isn't on?
Freya?
Mm-hmm.
일단 기분 전환 집 밖에 나가보기. 여긴 석조 광장이래. 누구세요?
Whoa.
뭐야
Nice cape.
이케맨의 냄새가 난다.
You're not fellows or pointers. I'm sure I shall
what's
immediately
not
regret
yet?
asking. But who are you, and what is your business here?
I'm Sally, and this is my sidekick Grimoire.
Private
서로가 서로를
detective.
조수라고 부르는데 이 친구들.
Really? You're a detective. If this is a joke, it's not a good one.
Who are you anyway?
Private Detective Hawkshaw.
여기도 탐정이야.
Nice. Hawkshaw's a cooler name than Grimoire. Maybe I'll become her sidekick.
You're not on the Freya fellow case, too, are you?
That is classified information between myself and my client. Clearly, this is something which eludes you. But a real detective refrains from handing out informations to persons unknown.
Oh,
엄청 혼나는데.
Now, if you would, I have work to do. It's not in my interest to discuss personal details.
even if you're one of the suspects in a murder?
Very well. Let us make a small exception. Ask.
Oh, what are you doing here?
I'm on a case at the behest of my client.
How long have you been at Tangle Tower?
133 hours.
너무
5.5
옛날에 왔는데?
days.
Who are you working for?
I am not at liberty to answer
사망하기
that.
전에 온
Now,
거잖아.
I shall permit you one more question.
What crime are
How'd you get that scar? It's cool.
You really think so?
cool.
As it happens, I completed an examination of Flora's room on the morning before the murder. I've been investigating every single room at Tangle Tower. Hers was one of the last on my list.
Did you find anything unusual?
Nothing but a thin layer of dust and an atmosphere of somber
또
melancholy.
칙칙한
Was Flora in
우울함.
there at the time?
She spent the duration of my search staring up at the sky. Out the open
플로란
window.
하루 종일
Didn't say
창밖만
a
보고
word.
있네.
Although I'm told this is the expected behavior.
What did you do after that?
I spent the early evening searching the library. It took longer than it should have. Fiona leaves that room in a permanent state of disarray.
Fiona was in the library too?
I expected her to make an appearance, but she did not.
And you stayed in the library the rest of the day?
Not quite. Towards the early evening, my examination of the library was unexpectedly
왜?
disrupted.
사망해서?
Sounds of running, wailing, shouting from several floors above. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared. He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. Our eyes met. He was breathless. Something had caused him great alarm. He told me to stay out of the way. I
뭐지?
consented. I decided to return to my office in the stone square. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. She was clutching the banister of the Pointer staircase with an apprehensive manner. She wished to know where Professor Pointer had gone. I told her what had transpired. Then, she too crossed the hall and disappeared up the fellow staircase. More so than at any moment prior, I felt like quite an intruder in the house. I took my leave, out towards the stone square. The grounds were silent. There were no signs of human life. Even the greenhouse was without its typical inhabitant. I noted that he, too, must be entangled in whatever was transpiring in Fellow Tower. An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance. He spoke to me of what had occurred. His report was as clumsy and cumbersome as the man giving it.
Did he seem upset?
He was rattled. That much was clear. But sorrowful, mournful.
옥상에
I
있다 다
cannot
내려올
say.
때 내려왔던 건가 봐. 그 사람도. 이상한데 뭔가.
Tangle Tower. No idea why they insist on calling it that. It's not even a tower. It's little more than a pair of turrets stuck on either side of a mansion.
Have you searched the whole place?
I believe so. Why?
He wants to know if you found any secret rooms.
I'm afraid the residents of Tangle Tower are far too ordinary for anything like that. I was disappointed too. You truly consider this a case file?
What's wrong with it?
No organization, no system.
That's my
Hey.
style. I like seeing everything laid out at once. Yeah, it helps me think.
How quaint. Where'd you dig that up?
It wasn't buried. It was underwater.
Someone trying to conceal evidence, perhaps? Have you deciphered the meaning of those 4 symbols on the harp?
We're
아니요
working on it.
아직이요.
That's a no, then. Conveniently left anonymous. It's useless until you can prove to whom it concerns. Can you do that?
No.
No. Makes quite an impression, doesn't it? Although I can't imagine why she painted Flora wielding a knife.
You didn't see a knife anywhere in Flora's room, did you?
I did not. I conclude whatever stabbed Freya must have been brought into the room from outside.
엥?
Unless, of course, it was the painting itself.
Surely you don't believe in that kind of thing.
A detective's job is to examine every avenue of
괜찮은
thinking.
거야?
A somewhat cumbersome device, and an altogether inefficient way to listen to music.
What kind of music do you like, Hawkshaw?
하샤.
I like anything.
What a
그럼 제
cop-out.
커버곡도 들어주세요.
I believe that was in Flora's room yesterday, but it was not cracked when I saw it last.
어떻게 하루 만에 다
You
금이
got it
가지?
open. I'm impressed. I managed it myself yesterday. I thought Flora might be hiding something in there.
It was empty yesterday, too.
It was. Perhaps it's always been empty. Paints?
Yep.
Paints.
Mm-hmm.
네?
The paint is still wet.
Yeah, well, we know Freya was in the middle of painting when she was killed.
Do you know that? How? Because you were told? A book from the library. One of hundreds, no doubt. What makes this one special?
It's about birds.
Yes, I see
이
that.
사람 나보다 탐정 능력이 없을지도.
Is that a clue?
Dunno. It was important enough to be framed, though.
I framed my law degree, doesn't make it a clue.
Same? Yeah?
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't really look like anyone we've met so far.
Strange. Some breed of amphibious humanoid. Potentially bipedal. Although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
Does Flora still own that bird? Do you know?
Don't think so. The drawings are from a few years ago.
I see. I'd tell him not to quit his day job. But he hasn't got one, has he? These figurines remind me of a case I once saw involving a possessed
저주받니요?
doll. Turned out to be a bit of a smokescreen, as these things often do.
Your life sounds fun. Grimoire, why don't we ever have fun adventures like that?
Are we not having a fun adventure right at this very moment?
A photograph of Freya could be important. I admit, it's powerful. Freya was a talented young woman.
Someone even liked it enough to take a photo of it.
Now, we don't know why they took the photograph, do we? Perhaps they just wanted it for reference.
When did Freya draw the picture of you, Hawkshaw?
I
그러게.
didn't model for her, if that's what you're asking. She must have done it without my permission.
Could just be from memory.
지나가는 걸 보고 그린 걸지도.
Diary. Have you read it?
Not yet. It's locked.
And you haven't attempted to force it open?
That would be cheating.
탐정이면서.
Poppy has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite. Freya Fellow is of great interest to me. I perceived her to be the most intelligent individual here
No.
at Tangle Tower. Within a day, she had identified for whom I was
하루
working
만에?
and for what I was
똑똑하잖아.
searching. I didn't know how she did it. I was impressed. I regret that I did not question her more thoroughly when I had the opportunity.
그러면 이 학사가 뭔가 조사하는 거를 먼저 눈치채서 살해당했나?
I have only myself to blame for failing to perceive the signs.
What signs?
I do not wish to do your job for you, Detective. 314 cases solved.
와우.
314. Considerably intelligent, and her powers of observation are enviable. But she has no ambition. No focus.
In her defense, she's still a teenager.
Barely. Did you get anything useful out of him?
Not sure. What about you?
Nothing worth committing to paper.
아직 아무것도
knows
쓸모 있는 게
more than he
없나
lets
보다.
Probably. But talking with him is so tedious. Quite the stoic statue, isn't she? I can only dream of being as cold and indifferent as Flora Fellow.
You think she's hiding something?
Perhaps. She has some strange habits. I heard she barely sleeps. An hour here or there, sporadically. Spends the rest of her
뭐?
time staring up at the sky.
어떻게 그렇게 살지?
A wooden trunk that opens up into a full desk.
I want one.
아, 이 사람이 작업할 때 들고 다니는 간이 책상 같은 거구나.
Is that a clock?
If it is, it's a clock with 4 faces.
I'm guessing it doesn't tell the time.
So what does it do?
또 뭐야? 이거 뭐 하는 어디가 옳은 위치인 건데? 어디가 옳은 위치인데요, 저기요.
No.
So moving any of the hands turns the adjacent hands in the opposite direction. It's like cogs on a machine.
올바른 위치가 어디야? 밑에 맞춰야
I
되나?
guess that's wrong.
Did you work out what direction each hand needs to be facing? Each one ends with a little hoop. Try looking through the hoop and ignoring the rest.
둥근 고리가 있어. 숫자가 되게 3, 9. 얘는 뭐지? 육. 이렇게 하다 보면 얻어 걸리거든요. 어떻게 하는 거야 이거? 네? 이거죠?
I got it.
I'm impressed.
됐다.
What's in the box?
A little tool thing? Looks like a telescope. But I'm not actually sure what it is.
What it is? 뭐지? 뭐 하는 거지?
It's a big stone dais.
Biggest one I've ever seen. First one, too. There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a message engraved on it?
I think there was at one point,
지금은
but
다
someone
가려졌나
scratched
봐.
it off.
It's a big stone dais.
Biggest one, first one, too.
A giant glowing gemstone full of plants.
AKA a greenhouse.
AKA
It's Tangle Tower. Or at least it's the mansion at the base of Tangle Tower.
A pointless little stone tower.
I don't know. Might be a good hiding place.
Want to play hide and seek?
I could be persuaded. It's a big stone dais.
Biggest one I've ever. First one, too.
여긴 뭐지? 온실.
Hanging baskets. They're so high.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2 inches taller than me.
아
2
깜짝이야.
inches makes all the difference.
사람 있는 줄 몰랐어.
Sally, don't move. We're being
아 큰 소리 내서 죄송합니다.
Yeah, I see him. He's a little too big to hide in the bushes. Is anyone
Oh
going
my
to say
God.
anything? Or shall we just stand around staring at each other?
Right. Sorry.
Sorry.
That's better. I'm Sally. And the guy hiding behind me is Detective Grimoire. Who are you?
Fitzfellow, the gardener.
Mm-hmm. And why are you so tall?
I don't know.
맛있다.
You work here as the gardener.
I don't get
Ah,
paid to do
맛있군.
it. It's just my area of interest.
What's the deal with the plants? They're all kinda weird.
이 동네
Right.
물이 안 좋아서
Did you see the lake?
That
식물들도
giant green and
이상한가
purple lake
봐.
surrounding the entire house. Yeah, I clocked it.
The color is just a byproduct.
Of what? Poison?
It's not poisonous. Not to you.
What's this got to do with the plants?
The water controls all life, just like anywhere else on the planet. Clouds form, rain falls. The water grows the plants, animals eat the plants. Anything you've perceived as an irregularity is simply a result of this hydrological cycle.
Could you say that again, but like condense it as if you were talking
과학적
to a
설명에 어지러워지는 나.
slightly stupid person?
정상인가요?
Our lake water causes the unpredictable alteration of DNA. Sometimes.
Alteration? Like mutation?
That'd be the official term. For us, it's normal. Just nature.
And you're the local expert on all this stuff?
No. I'm just the gardener.
이 집안 사람들 다 이상한 걸.
I was in my greenhouse, watering and weeding.
Sounds exciting.
Was anyone else around?
Not at first. Penelope came in a little later. She likes looking at the flowers, I think.
Did you speak to each other?
A little, not too much. We both left the greenhouse in
나이스.
early afternoon.
다운
I
눈
went up to my
괜찮나요?
room. Then I came back outside to weed the main
난 눈
gardens.
왜?
Didn't see anyone else. After that, I went up to the garden outside my room.
And
자꾸
Let me
맛있냐
guess.
멋있냐
Watering
이래서
and weeding.
Right.
did anything happen to you yesterday, Fitz?
I was up in the rooftop garden,
루프탑
It was
가든
quiet.
가든이 두 개구만.
and then it wasn't. I can't describe it. Could have been a scream, but it didn't sound human.
스크림은 아무도 먼저 안 했다고
We
했는데.
thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
We?
Poppy was with me. Did I not mention that? Flora's room was locked. That's normal. She usually locks it from the inside. I knocked on the door and shouted. Nobody responded. We became concerned.
You kicked the door down?
I did. Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back. Flora was there too, but I barely noticed her at first. Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too. Penelope arrived shortly after that, with Felix in tow. I thought that was odd. You don't normally see the two of them together. Felix took charge. There was nothing else I could do to
여러
help.
가지가 이상하네.
I
맞는 것
wanted to go
같으면서
back to
조금
my room,
어긋난 것
but I
같은데
realized
명확하게
nobody had
뭐라고
told Detective
얘기하기가
Hawkshaw
어려운.
anything. I found her pacing back and forth around the stone square. When I approached her, she snapped at me. I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya,
이거
she fell
오피셜 던
silent.
거지? 아 죄송합니다. 자꾸 이신경이 쓰이네.
Poppy and I are friends.
프렌즈?
That, dark clothes, blue hair, an average of 3 words per sentence. Oh, you're like 2 peas in a pod.
She's very kind, and she has an interest in plants. Unusual flowers, mostly. I've been teaching her.
Right.
Is something wrong?
Have you met this guy, Fitz? Shifty eyes, doesn't say a lot. Totally suspicious, if you ask me.
That's me.
Yeah, that's... It was a joke. I was joking.
Oh,
안
I see.
통하는데 농담.
She was always kind to me. She'd come into the greenhouse when I was working, sometimes by herself, sometimes with Poppy. I think they were just bored at first. Eventually, they started asking questions.
About what?
Poppy wanted to learn about flowers. Freya, she used to ask me about the insects.
Insects?
One of my jobs is to protect plants from things that might eat them. Freya brought me this little glass box, leaves and twigs inside. She'd say, put all the troublemakers in there. Every day I'd put a handful of beetles and other things in the box. Then she'd come along and take it away.
어디다 쓴
I
거지?
didn't really understand her, but she was always kind. She questioned me,
About what?
my work, the plants, bit of everything.
Did she search the greenhouse?
No, she didn't.
You sure? Maybe she did it when you weren't in there.
No, she hasn't touched it.
How can you tell?
Trust me, I can tell.
오.
Fifi doesn't like me.
What did you do?
I'm not sure. If you find out, maybe you can let me know. Felix is a contradiction. His loyalties are placed firmly within the realm of materialism, money, property. But his ego relies on an entirely fraudulent self-image, don't you think?
I
불쌍한
was just about
사람이네.
to say this.
주변으로부터 인정을 이렇게나 못 받고 있다니.
I like Flora. I hope she's all right.
Do you think she had anything to do with the murder?
There's no way. She wouldn't willingly cause any additional suffering for anyone.
For anyone.
Fitz's room is unlocked. It's up in the fellow tower.
This could be interesting.
일단 여기
A
있는
little
것 좀
chart of,
조사해야 돼 오늘은.
Actually, I have no idea what it's about.
유별나게 사이가 나빴던 사람들은 별로 없는 것 같기도 하고.
Kinda reminds me of a periodic table.
Greek letters, I think. Greek letters.
Kinda
어디서 본
reminds me of
적이
a periodic
있던가?
table.
아직은
What do
없는
you
것
make of
같기도
it?
하고.
Not a whole lot. Hanging baskets. They're so high.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2.
2 inches makes all the difference. This one's in a little.
Okay, that is definitely not edible.
원래 이렇게 이쁘장하게
Looks
생긴
like
거는
a
잘못
gemstone.
먹으면
Don't you think?
다 그거잖아요. 골로 가잖아요.
Tools. Used by a gardener. For gardening. Tools. Used by gardening. Bags of soil.
It's so.
That's a handsome beetle. Looks like he might have magic powers.
매직 파워?
It's bigger in here than I thought.
Hanging baskets.
To you, maybe.
You're only 2.
2 inches makes all.
주기율표를 어디서 본 적이
Bit of
있나?
a decadent flooring choice for a greenhouse.
지금까지는 없는 것 같은데.
I'm still not sure about.
Should we take another look?
이게 뭐야? 뭔가 모양인가 봐.
Let's come back later.
전혀 관련이 없는데 저런 동물들과. 어우 불쾌한 엉덩이 모양. 난 얘 방을 보고 싶은 것 뿐인데. 아 여기다. 아무것도 없는디?
Quit sulking. Not every room is going to be full of clues.
이 감옥이랑 뭐가
An empty
달라?
glass and an empty plate.
Looking at it is making me want to cry.
Why?
I don't know.
러브레터?
It's a little handmade card. Someone's drawn a heart on the front. Inside it says, "To Fitz from PP."
PP.
That poor plant.
Looks pretty healthy to me.
Healthy, but sad. I think it would rather be outside.
뭐라?
Hello.
Not hidden very well, is it?
Doesn't need to be. It's locked.
이건 또
It's a
뭐지?
combination lock. Sort of.
뭐 어쩌라는 거야? 어? 지금 하나 보이고 2개밖에 안 보이는데? 이렇게 하다 보면 또 다른 모양이 나오나? 아! 이 3개를 한 뭉탱이로 만들면 이렇게 뭐가 나오는 거지 가운데. 그러면 이파리가 지금 다 다르게 생겼잖아요. 일단 요 이파리 하나 있는 거고 방향을 또 이렇게 틀다 보면 뭐가 나온다는 거거든? 아닌가? 그리고 이거죠. 얘랑 마지막 하나는 이거다. 이거예요.
I did it. What do I win?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Anything in there?
Yeah, it's wrapped in a cloth. Hold on. Huh, that's kind of ominous.
아, 설마 칼? 칼은 아니고 모정삽이냐. PP 하트 FF. 이거 문 앞에도 있던 거잖아. 파피랑 사귀는 거
locked.
맞네.
But it
I
leads
thought we were halfway up.
We
to-
are.
What's that thing by the handle?
와, 나 알았어.
It made a noise.
야, 둘의 방이 그거잖아.
I guess that was right. And the door's still
I
locked.
still feel like we made some.
반대쪽 가서 똑같이 해줘야 돼. 그러면 열릴 거야.
A big glass door leads out into
There's a little mechanism.
둘이 동시에 이걸 해야지만 열린다는 거잖아.
something happened.
That must be it. Finally, it's open.
Whatever's on the other side.
그럼 이 공간은 사실상 완전히 둘만의 공간이네? 이거 뭐 있어?
It's another little statue, doing a really bad job of hiding in the bushes.
He's playing a lute this time.
He's also wearing headphones.
Well, they're not part of the statue.
여기는 동물이
And they're
많은데요?
not headphones. They're earmuffs.
이거 봐.
A little pond.
It looks really,
풍선이
really
있어.
deep for some reason. See those metal bars around the edges too?
Oh yeah. What do you suppose they're for?
Nothing anymore. Looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it. Giant stone frog? Love it.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
얼룩새 깃털은 아니네. 얼룩새 깃털인 줄 알고 약간 호들갑 떨려
It's one
했는데.
big dragonfly.
Or one very small dragon.
이
It's a rose
장미다.
bush, growing on a little patch of loose
꺾어준
soil.
장미.
Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole
한쪽에
thing
떨어진
looks
꽃잎은
very well cared for.
파피의
The roses
방이었어.
are bright red too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly.
Trees. On a roof.
In a garden.
In a garden. On a roof.
More egg statues.
I don't get it.
계란
Why
또
eggs?
Well,
있네.
either they have some special. The sculptor was just really
What do you
lazy.
mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make.
귀찮으니까 다 알로 때린 건가? 이건 또
More egg
공간 아닌가?
statues.
I don't get it.
Well, either an egg has got to be the easy.
Oh, good. A bridge.
짧은
I'm
조그만한 거
glad to know
위에
there's a way to get across
다리가?
that tiny, tiny pond.
Not all bridges are about getting across stuff. More egg statues.
I don't get it.
Well, the sculptor.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easy.
생각보다 마땅히 뭐 없는데?
A little pond.
It looks. See those?
Yeah.
Nothing. Looks like somebody broke them and then never.
Stone pillars. Or what's left of them.
뭔가 하나 나와야지.
So relaxing. I might
살인
just stay
사건의
here.
잔해 같은.
How shall I go finish the investigation on my own?
That'd be great.
A little water.
It's making me sleepy.
Wonder how it's hooked up.
어?
It's so relaxing. I might just stay here.
여기가 끝이라고?
That'd be great.
이상한데? 뭔가 이상한데 그쵸?
Locked.
뭔가 이상한데. 그것은 밑에서 찾을 수 없을 겁니다. 이게 무슨 얘기지?
What is
I
that?
think it's a fan.
집안 사람들 이름이 다 피피야. 근데 순혈인 사람들만 대문자 이렇게 묶어놓고 섞인 사람들은 이걸 나눠줬어. 파피 포인터 필리스 펠로우. 우리 아직 못 풀었던 퍼즐이 어디 있지? 하나만 더 풀고 그냥 마무리하고 싶어. 이 장식된 모종삽 들고 가서 한번 물어보자. 이놈 알고 있지? 이 모종삽에 대해서.
This is yours, Fitz?
Yeah,
Do you use it?
I keep all my tools in the greenhouse.
That wasn't what she asked.
You ever seen this before, Fitz?
No, but I don't normally go into Fifi's room.
That's not where
이건
we found
피피
it.
거라고 생각하나
Oh,
본데?
I just thought it looks like it belongs to her.
가볼까? 피피 넌 이게 뭔지 아니? 헤이 피피. 피피
This
에이.
belongs to Professor Pointer, does it
포인트
not?
교수의 물건이라고?
I don't think so.
Well, who else would own such a pointless little telescope?
It's a telescope.
Oh, yes. It has a telescopic lens. It could only be used for looking at things that are far away.
멀리 있는 걸 볼 수 있고?
Half the room.
I don't know if you can the sudden absence of
또 아무 말 안 해.
I like these drawings, Flora.
Is there a reason why you wanted us to see them?
또 아무 말 안 해. 여기서 아이템을 사용할 수 있나? 사용할 순 없나 봐. 이거 아닌데. 이런.
It's so relaxed. I might just stay here.
Oh, shut up.
That'd be great. It's a two-person bed.
What makes it?
뭔가
It looks
있을
pretty
것
standard to
같은데.
me.
왜 아무것도 없지?
It's Tangle Tower, or at least it's the mansion at the base of Tangle. You ever see a mushroom that big before?
Not in real life.
It's a big stone
현실에서
dais.
없으면 어디선가 봤다는 건가?
Biggest one I've ever seen. First one too.
아마 요 두 명에 대한 정보만 뚫으면 새로운 스토리가 또 열릴 거거든요. 여기 아마 엄마가 있을 거고 얘기를 하면은 새가 많네. 엄마랑 얘기를 엄마 팔이 새야? 아마 여기도 열려서 들어갈 수 있을 것 같거든요. 아 엄마가 아니야? 사촌이야?
My little writing desk. It's kind of cute.
There's nothing written in the book, although someone's torn a page out of the middle.
무섭게 생겼어.
Check out that butterfly.
Looks evil.
Wow, judgmental.
What's those little windows down there?
방에 이런 게 왜 있지?
I think they're there for draining rainwater.
아,
Oh.
They're bird cages, but the birds are coming and going freely.
Is that a metaphor?
Oh, it totally is.
Does this count
Yeah.
as
No, doesn't matter.
bird diagrams? Hand painted.
They're beautiful. Someone
Yeah.
really knows their stuff.
Bird diagrams.
They're beautiful. Someone.
더 하고 싶은 마음은 가득이지만 저 저녁 먹고 와야 되거든요. 여러분 저 8시부터 또 방송하거든요. 여러분도 밥 먹어야죠. 이거 제 생각에 오늘 안에 못 끝냅니다. 이거 제 생각에 2-3번 나눠 해야 되거든요. 그렇기 때문에 오늘은 일단 여기서 마무리 하고 다음에 여기 이제 2명에 대해서 대화해보고 아직 아이템이나 인물에 대해서 얘기 덜한 사람들도 얘기하면서 플레이를 해보려고 합니다. 너무 갑작스럽게 종료해서 미안하지만 분기점이 없어요. 마땅히 없어요. 오늘은 여기까지 하고 다음 주에 또 하는 걸로 해요. 다들 밥 맛있게 먹고 오늘 저녁 8시부터는 영화 버블을 동시 시청하는 멤버 방송이 있습니다. 여러분도 팝콘이랑 맥주 준비해서 오도록 해. 오늘도 시청 감사했습니다. 다음에 또 이어서 계속 우리 탐정해보자고. 어이 조수 알겠지? 내가 메인 탐정이니까. 그러면 일단 온바해. 온바. 어이 조수 빨리빨리 움직여야지 뭐 하는 거야?